shit. Oh my god, that was so epic. I think that's it. There he is. You guys ready? Let's pull it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Hey! And JB's on there! 600! 600! Yes! Yay! 600 mile time. So here we are, back with the real supercharger. Okay, we are on the test track.
I'd recommend putting your head on the headrest.
Okay.
There he's ready. Go.
Yep. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that never gets old either. We have the post-study production cars here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, oh yeah, you watch it.
Well, why is he gonna throw it?
I don't know, but we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Just use a sledgehammer. What?
Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
I'm Eric, otherwise known as Derek, here in Shanghai at Gigafactory 3.
Ballapalooza. It's like tricks.
3, 2, 1.
Will it wipe is the big question of the day.
Will it what?
Generic cornflakes.
Whoa! It's raining cornflakes! Oh. This is trippy. Look, there's nothing here. Welcome everybody.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Somebody round up the troops. It's happening. Wow, you know, I still hear myself.
Okay.
I'm hearing myself from 2 different. Oh, I gotta turn off my phone. It's blowing up. Wow. Welcome everybody.
Everybody else is excited. It's happening as well.
How are you all doing?
Even the dogs are excited.
Wow. Okay. So I came home real quick. I was at work, but we got to do this. I mean, if it's going down, we got to do it. First and foremost.
Hello to everyone.
Sorbin.
Yes.
Thank you for the $5 super chat already during the
€5,
intro.
I think.
€5. Fave new announcement. Mine's tiltable screen, ventilated seats, active noise cancellation, glass roof, no cross member. So much fun stuff. So, wow.
Yeah. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff. Oh my goodness! Already.
Wait, what? What? What's
There's
up with the
already
dogs?
another super chat.
Oh no! Oh no! We got a super chat already.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Well, that wasn't that excited, but hey, we'll have some more, I think, as well.
Wait, watch this! Watch this! Watch this!
Is that from?
Digital confetti.
Yay. Is that from Matt? I didn't see. Is it? Oh,
Chris
it's Chris.
Benson.
Chris. Well, thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Said, Plaid or Plaid Plus?
That remains to be seen because
Remains to be
basically, for those of you who don't know, probably everybody knows, but they just announced the S and X refresh, and they also said there's going to be Plaid and Plaid Plus, and the Plaid Plus would be the one with like over 500-mile range. But the performance, the 0 to 60 time looked like the same, like 1.9 seconds.
Yeah. We're gonna get to it. I'm pulling it right up right now, but I'm making sure because we're also going to be live streaming the earnings call.
We don't want to miss that.
And so when we do that, we like to have the stock ticker and everything. So I'm just making sure we got all that ready to go.
But wow, there's a lot of changes. And you know what?
Yeah.
We predicted, or we expected or predicted a lot of these changes. We didn't get everything right. Oh, there's another super chat. Woohoo.
Oh God.
Woo. There's like gonna be. Oh, you can't even see that confetti. You're on the wrong. I was on the wrong camera.
Oh. Well, here we got.
Well, thanks to Jonathan on that one.
We got more digital confetti.
Okay, next time I'll shoot that camera. But yeah.
Well, I guess look and make sure which camera to shoot at first.
Yeah.
Said.
We're just excited.
Thank you for the $10 super chat, Jonathan. Said good to see you guys again. Okay. I may have to get that refresh S instead of the 3 guys. I mean, that refresh S is.
It looks pretty
hot.
nice. But as we were talking about,
Wow.
we did a video, like, was it last week? Or we've done a couple of refresh videos, and we were predicting a lot of things, but it looks like a lot of it's been confirmed. Like the heat pump, the phone is key, the horizontal screen, it's still going to have the instrument cluster. Second row screen, we mentioned second row screen for passengers. They're going to be there. We did say possibly new battery pack. It says there is a new battery pack of modules. We don't know if it's 4680 yet, but something's changed with the battery. Active noise cancellation.
Yeah.
Ventilated seats. It's amazing. Yeah. So to celebrate, I guess we're gonna have to.
Oh, look, we got confetti because I didn't turn off.
So to celebrate,
we're gonna get some shots real quick.
Yeah. But wow, air vents similar to the X and or the 3 and the Y, the 40-20-40 rear split seat. Wow. Oh my. Yeah. But
The shorts.
The Chrome delete. Wow, there's a lot of stuff we predicted. We still have some unanswered questions though, so we don't know. One, where are the cup holders? I don't know. But it does have door storage in the pockets, and we don't know about the CCS port though. It looks like it's the
Can
same
we
charge
ASMR
port.
this real quick? Can you guys hear this?
Is that Tesla tequila? Be careful, that's like almost $15.
Yeah, that's like $15 shot. Hold on.
Those are big. I think those are bigger shots than last time. That might be like.
Shh, don't tell them.
That might be like $20-something. Anyways, we still don't know too. Like we had seen in the software, there's some hints to Autopilot 3.2 coming, but we don't know what that entails yet. So I'm sure that will be announced tonight or today on the call. And
Okay. 3.
wait, are we doing? That's a big shot.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, everybody. We're gonna drink to the new
Oh, you know
Tesla.
what? We forgot the.
And the shareholder newsletter, which we're gonna go over. But we're gonna go ahead and have this, and then look at the new S and X, and then we're gonna go over the shareholder meeting. It's gonna be great. 3, 2, 1. Enjoy it.
Okay, but congratulations to everyone who's still here.
Do you get all tingly?
Not yet, but my tongue is burning.
Okay. Thank you, Pierre, for the $5 super chat. Said save 10 grand on the new refresh. Happy with that $100 gamble.
Yeah. Well,
got
it remains to be
confetti
seen too.
everywhere.
Hopefully that's the
I need a
case.
chaser. I'll be right back.
We're hoping that we are still locked in at the prices. I mean, that's the whole point of putting in that order, the $100 deposit, is that hopefully we will be locked into the price. I'm sure we'll find out here in the next hour or two on the call. Hopefully we are locked in because there was a price increase. If they don't honor the $100 deposit, then they would just apply that. But in the past, when they've made minor changes, they've maintained the price. So we'll see.
Okay, I'm back. I had to get a drink because I was thirsty too. ASMR. Okay, so let's get right to it. First and foremost, again, welcome everybody. Thank you already for the super chats. Y'all are killing it. I need to put this back.
Who wears short shorts?
It was me. I hope my mother and father are not watching this.
I'm sure your mother is.
Help us all if they are. Anywho, thank you all for joining us. We decided to go early today because the new S and X refresh dropped.
What's really weird is so did Tesla's stock price. It's down like 19 or down.
We're
19,
down $22
after market, but up $18. The whole market was kind of bad today.
The whole market was kind of bad.
Except for GameStop.
Except for GameStop. You
And Blockbuster.
GameStoppers. Holy crap.
Anyways,
You're blowing my mind.
Hopefully it'll recover again tomorrow or in the coming days.
Anywho, I rushed home from work. I said, I gotta go, guys. It's happening. And so we could get on a little early because we want to talk about refresh and everything. So here, we're going to jump over real quick.
Pull up the configurator.
We're just going to go through the configurator and talk about it.
So they do have it. They haven't updated this page yet.
Yeah.
And that still has the same range, or at least it did when I looked at it like half an hour ago. Does it still say like 402 or something there?
I honestly need to change my, sorry. I had my monitor on for gaming.
Yeah, so it still says 402 miles there, but once you go to configure it,
Yeah.
it says that the long range one is 412 miles on the Model S. So it's interesting though, on the Model X, the range has actually decreased by like 11 miles. Or at least that's what it says currently. Maybe they'll have a software update in the future to bump that back up.
Yeah. Anywho, first and foremost, meh.
The outside, you couldn't even tell. The Chrome
know.
Delete.
This new like rear bumper thing, I'm just like, it's not that big. The Chrome Delete, hot, love it. The wheels, I actually dig those.
I'm not a big fan.
David doesn't
Those
like
wheels
them.
have been out for a while though. There's nothing new with the wheels.
Yeah, so here, your range is 412.
So that's an increase of 10 miles on the Model
0 to
S.
60 of 3.1 seconds, crazy fast. But then you can actually get Plaid, also delivered in March, and you get a 200 mile an hour top speed. Because where are you doing 200 miles an hour? I would
Yeah.
like to know. And then you also get a 390 mile range. Pretty dope. Plaid Plus though is still delayed until late 2021. That's going to be your new motors
With probably
in
the
your
4680
4680 cells and
structural
stuff.
batteries, yeah.
You get torque vectoring, carbon sleeved rotors, 3 high performance drive units, 1100 horses under that hood, quarter mile under 9 seconds, 0 to 60, 1.99 seconds. They're outdoing themselves. Like,
Wow.
what about the Roadster? Leave some fun for us. Like, come on.
What's the price difference on the Plaid versus? Is it cheaper than what the Plaid? Is the Plaid? What was you put in the deposit on the Plaid when it was first announced? Is that still the Plaid, or is the pricing matching up with the Plaid Plus?
Plaid Plus.
So they kind of brought in a newer one.
Yep.
Okay, so our existing reservation would kind of be the Plaid Plus then.
Exactly. And then, like, this whole configurator thing, I'm not digging
I don't
too
like
much.
it took me a while because I was on another computer and my mouse scrolling wasn't working. You can't use the keyboard. Can you use the keyboard to scroll on that page?
Let me try.
Okay, that's working there, but I was trying to do it and it wasn't working. So there's still got some problems. But
Anywho,
I don't like the design of the page. But
let's go all the way back up and go through it. So, as you know, if you have been watching the channel for a while, and if you have, definitely drop a like already on this video. And if you haven't, consider subscribing. We're kind of fun. And we did a $100 gamble. We put a $100 deposit on the Model S and the Model X.
So $200
in addition to the
total.
$1,000 on the Plaid.
Yes.
Because we wanted that refresh, and we wanted to try to lock in at the previous prices. It is still unknown if we lock in at previous yet, but I would assume so. Otherwise, we would probably be offered that $100 back. We'll get to that later. Anyway, as it is now, I'm on board taking delivery of both the S and the X because they look so dope.
Wow.
Wow.
We
I
need
just
to
spent a lot of money
discuss
today.
it because right now the garage we only have room for 4 cars. We have 2 S's, a 3, and a Y. So something's got to go.
2 of them got to go.
2 of them's got to go if we want to get 2 new cars.
Anywho, we'll figure that out. But we're going to just go long range on the S and the X. We don't really need the Plaid. We don't really need the Plaid Plus right now. We have Roadsters coming.
Yeah,
And
it was
since
nice.
these are probably not going to include the 4680 cells due to, like, you can tell by the range and everything. What if they've been stocking those and they're going to say, Roadster deliveries start next month during the earnings call?
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But then we don't need the Plaid Plus, like I said.
Exactly. But back here, we're going to go long range on them. And if you look under feature details, it kind of breaks it down a little bit more so here. Interesting. Even the Plaid is considered a tri-motor design. So you can break it down there. You can see here, all-wheel drive, of course, autopilot, of course, easy charging. We don't have any CCS here. At least nothing that's been announced yet.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe they can fit it in, but I'm surprised they didn't redo that at all. Because
Chris Benson, email me. It should be linked in the description. Maybe I'll sell the Y. You never know.
We do have.
It could happen.
We will be selling a couple.
Someone's got to go, so just
Probably.
message me just in case. But yeah, no word of different charging here, so that's interesting. Sentry mode, obvi. Real storage, love it. You are getting your Tesla mobile app, so you can use your phone as key for S and X now.
Yeah, so that's
Claps
nice.
in chat for that. Super happy. Anyway, paint, it's still the same colors.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised
I was expecting
still
something
colors.
new.
Yeah, even if they would have brought back silver or titanium metallic or something, it's nice. They still have 5 colors. But
We
they could
need
add something
silver
new.
back for this
Yeah.
big refresh. Launch it with something fun. Again, though, this is just what's on the website now. We have not done the earnings call. It is quite
stuff can
possible that
change.
Elon is going to announce something extra. So bear
Yeah,
with
because
us.
right now it's still saying that the full self-driving is $10,000, but he's been talking for a while about full self-driving being available as a subscription. So maybe we'll be seeing that or hearing more about it.
By the way, the Y is not bricked anymore. Thank you for the concern.
Yes, we have that. We'll have an update on that
have an update
later
on
this
that
week,
later.
but it is working just fine.
FYI, Chris, it is not bricked.
Except it now has a brand new 2021 center console, even though we have a 2020. So this is probably the first Model Y in the United States with center console that
David just leaked the future video.
Oh, well.
So that's for you, Diego. Anyway, back to Model S. It looks dope. I love it.
But again, the exterior is still pretty similar.
Yeah,
to
so
what's currently
you can
available.
either
They
get-
changed the bumper slightly and the chrome, like you said.
Yeah, you can get the Tempest wheels, or you can get like the new Arachnid style. To be honest, we're going T Sport
I
line
would just keep
and
T
the
Sport line.
Tempest.
we have.
That's gonna be what we're gonna go for. And you can actually kind of like look at the side views. That rear, this rear diffuser has changed. So it now has this like little like thing in it, whatever you want to call that. So that's interesting.
Indent.
Indent, thank you. There's the 19-inch Tempest. I think they look dope. And you know what? Let's just get into
Did you
this
see that the
interior.
price of the white interior is $2,000 now? Didn't it used to only be $1,000?
I thought at one point it was 2,500.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. They've changed it.
They've changed it so many
But
times.
anyways, it's $2,000 now.
So you get this ebony decor, which, you know what? I don't like wood in cars.
Yeah,
It makes it feel like so old. But I will say, out of all the wood that Tesla has done in the past, I like the darker ones the best. And this ebony, I like the best. But I don't like the black interior.
We're fans of the white interior.
We're going to
definitely.
go white interior. It is still going to have this walnut decor.
Yeah, it's unfortunate you can't choose that because originally when we purchased the Model S's in the past, you could choose you could choose the wood separate the
Trim.
decor trim
Yeah.
separately from the interior
But-
fabric color.
We're going to go with just this
Upholstery.
white interior and walnut trim. But we're going to carbon fiber it. Future video coming your way.
And I'm sure Abstract Ocean will have accessories or wraps that allow us
you
to
bet.
change that.
Yep. Pete, if you're watching. Oh, he is. I saw. Steering wheel straight out of the Cybertruck. Love it.
Yeah.
We'll have to get on some accessories.
I'm
Love
sure
it.
they're gonna have lots of new accessories for the.
Anyway, we're
That's
going to do
nice.
that. It says details here. You
look at
have
that screen. I
a
haven't-
17-inch
I haven't seen that picture
screen,
before.
2200 by 1300 resolution. It does left-right tilt.
Yeah.
The new center display is ideal touchscreen for entertainment, gaming, anywhere. Second
think what-
display in front of the driver shows critical driving information. Third row display provides entertainment and controls for rear passengers.
Interesting.
Boom. But we were talking about this on our walk actually before we did this.
Yeah.
We are so hopeful that that screen for
Is
the
it
rear
deta-
passengers
is it detachable?
can be detached.
Yeah, because it's just like it's not very ergonomic the way it is attached. You'd have to be leaning forward and sitting in the front seat to control it. So I don't know. If you're going to be playing games on it, that's not going to work. So it'd be interesting
Yeah.
if it was detachable because you could totally just use like a little tablet and have it controlled via Bluetooth to make those changes.
So fingers crossed. Anyway,
Who knows?
moving on. We have a tri-zone climate control. Airflow and temperature are controlled entirely through displays without any physical vents. Hot days, cabin overheat protection ensures you always stay cool. Still have that. In cold weather, preconditioning automatically warms the cabin, prepares battery for maximum range. Love it. This screen looks so integrated. It just looks like it
Yeah.
fits. Unlike, I love the 3 and the Y, but it kind of looks like it's like, I don't want to say slapped on there.
Yeah, that's what-
that's
one-
bad. But it
one
looks
thing-
like it was added post.
Yeah, that's one thing we've talked about with the people who were considering the S, and that's like they don't like the screen on the 3 or Y, but here it is. They did a nice job of integrating it.
Yep. And then we're going to move on to this. The Yoke steering wheel. Ultimate
different.
focus on driving, no stalks, no shifting. With a stockless steering yoke, you can enjoy both the best car drive and the best car to be driven in. So gone are your stalks, gone are the top of the
What?
wheel.
There's no stalks?
No stalks.
Whoa. Well, how do you do? That's interesting.
I mean,
how are you going to do like?
So
the,
if you
to clear
look
the
very
the windshield wipers
closely
and stuff
on
like that?
this picture, it looks like this is touch capacitive right here around the scroll wheel. There's a little thing here, a little thing here, and a little thing here. So that's going to look very interesting. And here's where we talked about FSD earlier. I think with this wheel, they're going more towards full self-driving, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I have a yoke steering wheel like this. It is harder to do turns because you can't grab that top portion. So on this, I'm curious if Elon's going to say something like FSD beta will be included in your car purchase. Like you'll get FSD beta if you buy FSD.
That would be nice. I think for the additional price you're paying, that would be nice. If you
100%.
included that.
Next up, we have 22 speaker audio with
Wow.
active noise cancellation.
Wow, that's amazing. We've been wanting that for months or years or whatever. We've been talking about it, thinking that might be coming, and here we go.
This is gonna be amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on one of these. Next up, photo, glass roof. So this gives you the glass roof like the 3 and the Y. It used to have a beam right here, kind of above the driver and passenger seat, but it is now gone. Now, here's where my issue lies with this. We love the sunroof.
Yeah.
And the 100D has the sunroof.
Yeah.
How do you feel about losing a sunroof?
I'm kind of a little disappointed because it's not like I use it every day, but there are some nice days, especially
In the summer, I love it.
Yeah, or even in the spring and fall, there's some nice days where you want to just get some fresh air and let it in. But the glass roof is nice, but a little disappointed they haven't brought it back.
That's the one thing that I'm kind of disappointed in. I wish it had that. But moving on. Interior features. We talked about the 22 speakers, multi-device music and media. Multi-device.
So that's one thing, because that's one complaint we've had, is that you can only have one device connected. And you had your old Ford Fusion, 2013.
Yeah.
You could connect multiple devices to it, and either one of them would work. So it sounds like they finally added multiple device capability.
But with active noise cancellation, what if the back can listen to something different than the front?
I don't think so.
Oh, no?
No.
Killing my vibes. Anywho, 17-inch center display. So the Model 3 and Y is 15-inch, so you get an extra 2-inch just like Cybertruck. The instrument cluster is a 12.3-inch display, and the rear passengers get an 8-inch second row display.
Wow.
Gaming computer with 10 teraflops of processing power.
Wait, is this a separate? Are they counting the full self-driving computer or the? Is this a separate computer?
Separate. It sounds separate. It says gaming computer, which makes it 10 teraflops.
Or is that like a
I'm going to be
tablet?
live streaming from the Tesla.
Is that like we were talking about earlier? Is this a separate like tablet that they're talking about? Is it not really just
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's wild. If you don't know anything about computers, 10 teraflops is stupid. Wireless controller capability, but you can do that now.
It's already possible. Yeah, we've done that. In
Heated
our
seats
cars.
for every passenger, heated steering wheel, heated windshield, ventilated front seats. Tri-zone. Oh, go ahead.
So not on the rear then, because it looks like the rear ones are like perforated.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought, they brought back the ventilation, but it's only on the front seats. Oh well.
Yeah. Tri-zone airwave cabin conditioning, HEPA air filter, custom driver profiles. So some of this is going to be carryover, ambient lighting, tinted glass, yada yada. Convenience, front center console with sliding cup holder and storage, much like we see on that new Gen 2 console. Second row stowable armrest with integrated storage, and it's got the wireless charging like I was mentioning.
Oh yes.
We're gonna have to look at that.
In the armrest?
Yep. Automatic opening and closing a rear liftgate. Better.
That's
Auto
the same
dimming, power folding, heated side mirrors, much like we have. The same cargo space. USB-C for every passenger. Garage door opener. Phone is key. And then you get all this. This is premium connectivity.
It includes
is the
the
same.
garage door opener, so HomeLink is no longer an add-on.
Correct. This is now included.
Imagine that.
I know, right? So, but I want to talk about this rear passenger seats again. Where was that?
Still doesn't say if the rear passenger seats decline or recline. That's something that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. It'd be nice if they recline like we saw it with the Lucid Air.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really nice. I'm not going to lie. I'll have to look up the picture of the rear passenger seats, though, because I can show you exactly where I thought I saw the Qi charger, and we have confirmation of that.
Yeah, if you go to configure, you can see it.
Yeah. But then, obviously, FSD, and here we are again. But I'm scrolling through these pictures, and it's not showing up.
Okay, maybe it was in the report, the fourth quarter report, actually. Is what
Got
it
it. Well, lucky for us, I have that right here. So,
page like 13, I think, 14.
here you can see the drop down, and right here is going to be where your Qi chargers are, right behind the cup holders. I imagine this kind of will fold up, or you'll just put your phone in there. I just this looks so good. So good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Anywho, let's get to Model X.
I just hope that there's some recline like we have in the Model Y for those rear seats.
Yes, I hope there's definitely more than what we're seeing right now. So, I clicked on Model S
So
again.
the Model X, yeah, check out the X.
So, S is going to be delivered in March. Wait, I'm clicking on X, I swear. Order now. You guys are watching this,
Just
right?
type in Model X up in the. They obviously have a website error. Go just like they haven't updated the range on those initial pages. There's, they pushed out the website. It looked like yesterday we saw there was some downtime. But,
So here's the X. You get that kind of same front design that's now on the S, and you get these weird Model 3 looking rims. I'm not a huge fan, but we're gonna change them out
honestly,
anyway.
Though, I like those better than those other Gemini wheels or
Oh,
whatever.
okay. The Tempest.
Tempest. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Love to hear it. Here, your long range is 360 miles.
Which is down from the 371. So
Weird.
It's interesting how the X range has decreased while the S range has increased.
So we think that the new battery pack and everything hasn't necessarily been fully tested, and it will get an auto software update eventually to enable more range.
And that's what we saw in the
or
past.
more accurately represent.
We saw that in the past with the Model 3 and the Model Y when they were released.
Exactly. They do it quite often. And then you have the Plaid. You do not have a Plaid Plus variant, which makes sense. Do you really need to be going that fast in a 7-seater SUV? No. That is the answer. So that's interesting that they don't have the Plaid Plus, but here we are. Let's look at some photos and see what they have here.
But overall, it looks really similar.
It does.
No major body changes.
You still have the light up here. Nothing that screams different, really. Besides these rims, I'm just not a huge fan of them, but those are kind of however you want. Now, if you want carbon fiber, you have to get a Plaid. But we will show you once we take delivery how you can get carbon fiber without a Plaid. Coming soon. So we'll kind of just scroll through here. We'll probably get pearl white on both the S and the X, the free rims, which they're calling Cyberstream wheels.
Interesting.
And then your paid option is turbines, which are $5,500. Now, if you want something different, I would go with a T Sportline, linked below.
Yeah, because you can get the look and save a lot of money.
Exactly. You
So
can
it
save
looks
a
this way.
ton of money getting a third party. So I would do that if I were you. But anywho, we're still going to get the white interior because that looks really clean. Again, though, I'm not a huge fan of the cream. Are there any cream fans out there? I don't know. Not me. But we are going to do the white interior. The 6 seats. It's $6,500. Is that what it used to be?
I think it was at least 6,000. I don't know if it was 6,500.
That's expensive.
But normally that includes a second air conditioner.
So if you
compressor
view
or-
seat layouts, it kind of goes through here, and we can look at everything for X. You get the panoramic windshield still, the 3 displays like we kind of talked about, the rear display. All this is basically the same. Cool.
22 speakers though. What is it currently? Isn't it like 14 or something?
I think it's 14.
Way down there.
So that active
Where
noise
they put all these
cancellation
speakers?
adds a ton.
Why?
But so many fun tests that we have planned for this.
Wow.
I can't wait to show you guys the working capabilities of this.
So currently we have a reservation in for both the S. Well, actually we have 3 different reservations. We have one for a regular Model S, one for a Plaid Model S, and one for a Model X. And the Model X that we have a reservation for is a 6-seater, but we don't know, because we still don't know, is that 6-seater, do those captain seats or whatever fold flat? We don't know, because that's one thing in the past. We originally had a reservation back in 2016 for a 6-seater, but when we found out the seats didn't fold, we canceled the reservation, because that didn't fit our needs.
So we don't quite know what we're going to do just yet as terms of seating. If the 6-seater, the middle row doesn't fold flat, we're going to have to think about that.
I think it would still work. I mean, if we're never going to really have 7 people in there, so I think a 6-seater would still work for us. It's not going to be for cargo. And since we do have the tow hitch on the Y and probably on the X, we would just have a trailer for any large cargo. I'm
seeing a lot of comments about the heat pumps. S and X are getting the heat pumps. That is confirmed.
We had predicted the heat pump.
Some people asking about earnings call. Earnings call is coming up in about 30 minutes. We will be streaming that live with the stock ticker so we can see how the market is live reacting.
Make sure you have that open in the other
Yep, we do. So we are good to go. But as in terms of like the X and everything, both cars, by the way, the X is due in April.
Yes,
S is
a slight
in March
delay compared to the S.
But in terms of how we're looking, as of right now, we have FSD that we're going to pay $10,000 a piece on each car. Now, if something happens in this call and they talk about the subscription model, I actually think we might jump over to the subscription.
Yeah.
Reason being, we tend to burn through cars a little quick. We like to show you guys the newest and best. And in doing so, we have cost ourselves a lot in FSD costs. So we might actually jump to the subscription if it comes out before we take delivery. James, thank you for the $3 super chat. Said doors look boxier on both.
I noticed they do have door storage, so that's something that's new to the front seats.
They have door pockets.
Door pockets, yeah.
And door pockets on the S.
The 3 and Y have had that forever. The S has never had that.
I don't know. Did they show it on here?
I know it's in the earnings. There you go.
So you can see the door pockets. It looks like this like cool fabric look right here. I kind of dig that like grayish fabric. And you actually get that fabric on all the interiors. So I dig that.
And even on the rear seats, did you see the wood though continues into the rear seats?
Oh, we're going to have to pull it up on here.
That might be. Is that new? I don't know.
Yeah, the wood right here, that's different. But you get the door pockets, which so many people wanted.
I can't see if the front seats have the pocket in the back of them though, like on the 3 and the Y. Can't.
It doesn't. It looks smooth, so I don't think seat back pockets are a thing anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that. Somebody was asking, look at the interior camera by the rear view mirror.
Oh yeah, we forgot. Well, yeah, we forgot to look at that, but I'm sure it's up there.
Yep, right there.
Yeah.
Good catch. Who was that said that? Let me give you a shout out. That's good.
But we have heard.
Jason, thank you.
We have heard online on Twitter that it looks like there might be some new sensors or new cameras coming, maybe even a new radar, and it's called like Autopilot 3.2 instead of 3.0.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see. And currently stuff is still kind of in confidentiality on the FCC website, so we don't know the details of it yet.
We might learn tonight.
But we do know something new is coming.
Exactly. And so some other things that we're thinking, like we've talked a little bit about the batteries. We do not believe 4680s are in these, but supposedly there's a new battery pack design.
It did say right in the earnings report that they've totally redone the battery pack, and it's up a couple pages, so maybe page 11 or 10, somewhere around there. But they do say that the battery pack has totally changed as well as the modules, and I don't think they would do that using the existing 18650 cells, so they're either using the 2170s or the 4680s.
So here it says, our Model S and X battery module architecture has evolved over the past 8 years. Both battery pack and modules now have been fully redesigned. Additionally, we have incorporated 3 and Y motor technology throughout, as well as our heat pump for better winter range. These changes enable 5 times more high-speed quarter-mile runs than prior architecture while further improving energy efficiency. The performance versions of S and X were replaced by Plaid, featuring a tri-motor powertrain with unique high-speed, high-power rotor. Model S Plaid is the fastest accelerating production car ever made, with a 0 to 60 time of under 2 seconds and a quarter mile under 9.3 seconds. Faster than a Bugatti Chiron, which is 3 to 5 million. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but that's crazy expensive.
I'm just a little surprised though, because the range like we saw, the S only increased by 10 miles, but the X actually decreased by like 11 miles.
And that's what's weird for me.
I'm surprised.
I don't know what's up with that.
We were hoping that there was
yeah.
going to be like 450 or so for the non-Plaid S, and
Yeah.
maybe 400 for the Y, or excuse me, the X. But so I'm a little surprised by that. But hopefully, like we said, maybe there will be a software update in the coming months, which allows it to bump it up slightly.
That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm gearing towards, because they need to do a lot more testing, and this hasn't been viewed on the EPA website yet.
Yeah,
So
keep it secret until...
they got to keep
yeah.
it secret. So they got to be going like conservative numbers on this so they don't upset people. It will definitely get adjusted once they get that testing done. But
And,
like,
and again, we don't know what sells, if it's 2170 or 4680. I would hope they would skip straight to 4680, even if they can't use them as a structural pack like they're going to be doing with the Plaid Plus and
Yeah.
the Roadster. But we'll see. Hopefully we'll hear about that tonight, or this
Yep.
afternoon.
And so that basically concludes the SNX refresh announcement. Super happy for that. I can't wait to see what other things Elon's going to talk about later that we might have missed or that might not have been there. We'll be hearing that call in about 26 minutes. But things we predicted and got correct. The heat pump, the phone
Oh yeah,
is
we
key.
have pull up the list.
I got it right here. The horizontal screen, still have that, as well as an instrument cluster.
And we knew a lot of this was coming.
Yeah.
We basically heard from a friend of a friend over a year, maybe was it 2 years ago?
It was almost 2 years
that
ago we heard about
knew
this
that-
refresh.
But I mean, anybody could see, if the 3 and Y got it, they know that the X and S would have it eventually. But we pretty much heard of it like 2 years ago.
Yeah. But anyway, the second row screen for passengers, you called that.
Yep.
The increased range, we knew that. The decrease for X, though, that's odd.
It was a bit of a surprise.
The noise cancellation, we've been praying for that for a
Yep.
long time. Door storage, everybody wants it. Center console, similar to 3 and Y with dual phone charging. We saw that coming from a mile away. Air vents, similar to 3 and Y. Everyone loves that. We knew that. The 40-20-40 seat, we kind of
In the
knew
rear.
that.
Yep.
The cooled seats and perforated was interesting, but I find it weird they're only doing the front seats and not the rear.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just because they would have to run the channel all the way. I can't remember. Did the X ever have, or the S, did they have those cooled seats in the rear? I don't think they ever did.
I think it was only the front, but they kept
Yeah.
the whole thing perforated.
Yeah, just so it would match. Kind of like
Yeah.
what we have right here on this other, well, I guess it's not in that view, but we have a third row Model X seat, which is perforated, even though it wasn't air cooled. And so, it makes sense because if they're running a channel all the way through, the floor of the car, that would take, I don't know how cool the air would be once it got there.
Exactly. But other things we called the Chrome delete. We've seen it with 3 and Y, apparently. But we don't have a CCS port or no
Not
announcement
apparently,
yet.
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see in that. And, that's something they definitely want in Europe and some other foreign countries. The U.S., it would be nice if they added it. They're not required to, but a lot of people would be able to travel in a lot of different routes if it did have the CCS port.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't redo the tail lights. But who knows? It does look big enough. Maybe they'll be changing something. This is still just an image. It could change.
Yeah. Cup holders for the front. They must be behind the sliding door because otherwise you just have your door pocket, which is good. But if you have something like a Red Bull and you put it in that door pocket, it's going to spill and go everywhere.
Or like something go through a drive-through. You don't want to. I don't
Exactly.
think you would want to put a cup with a straw in the side.
Exactly.
You'd
So
want it in the center.
cup holders in the front, maybe.
It remains to be seen.
As far as like maybe autopilot 3.2 and new sensors or cameras, hopefully we learn about that tonight.
Yep.
In about 23 minutes, hopefully. But our predictions were pretty darn spot on.
Yeah.
I think round of applause for us. Can I get it in the chat?
I'm patting myself on the back.
I don't know.
I mean, we get it from various sources and stuff like that, but we knew a lot of this was coming. Or also, it was just
Some
like
of it was pretty
they
obvious.
needed to add it. But I mean, a lot of things, it does look like they made it very similar to the 3, but they still have it's still a step above. And I think they had to compete when you see like Lucid Air coming out with their vehicle. Tesla had to definitely increase the look of the interior of the Model S and X.
Yeah, definitely. So, I don't know. Let us know down below. How do you feel about this update? I can tell you one thing. As far as I'm concerned, I'm ready to move forward with the S and X order that we have in. I'm ready to just do it. Take my money, Tesla.
Yeah, I'm surprised though by the steering wheel. That's one thing I was not expecting. And I see like Steven.
Oh yeah, yep.
Steven just said it's fugly, and it's like I don't know because I know you had on the Model 3. You had a steering wheel very similar to that, and I tried driving it.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird because you're used to when you're doing a big turn. to try to hold on to that part of the steering wheel, and when it's not there, it's weird. And so that's what Eric was talking about. Well, maybe the steering wheel, maybe the reason it's that way is because they're expecting full self-driving to actually finally be released, and maybe the if you do buy that full self-driving functionality, maybe you'll be getting the beta right away. So Eric actually has the wheel that he had originally installed on the Model 3.
Which it is available for sale.
It's cool.
$1,000. This could be yours. Email down below.
It's a cool wheel, but it doesn't. It's better for maybe racing or something like that. But when you're doing some,
this is terrible for racing.
Oh, it is. Oh.
Do not go on a track with this. I will tell you that. I've been racing. I've been on a track. Do not take this on a track because not having this is bad on a track. But for an everyday driver, I'm not gonna lie, I quite enjoy it.
It does allow you to see the instrument cluster better.
For what I have done, I just I don't really need it. Yeah. So I have decided I'm gonna sell it. But this is kind of like the initial Yoke steering wheel we saw, and it is dope.
I think we saw some other renderings. I can't remember if it was a 3 or the Y though, where they showed a similar steering wheel, but it was actually like a clear, like lucite or something that went across there, so that it gave the look, so you could see through and see these the center instrument cluster, but you could still grab it if you needed to when doing a turn.
The steering wheel is what's kind of making me think maybe they're going to include FSD beta if you get this, because a steering wheel that's a Yoke is going to be a little bit harder to drive every day on the road, especially if you're used to a normal steering wheel. So I think if they include FSD beta, it's going to be you're not steering anyway, so what does it matter?
Yeah,
I think they need to do that, and I'm hoping that's what gets announced during the call.
WK says they're updating the website almost in real time. There are some better and exactly when you were just going through it now, I did not see all those pictures when I was looking at it 2 hours ago.
These?
I think they are. Well, some of the pictures were there, but not the interior shots. So I think they're still pushing it, and those pictures right there are still old.
Oh yeah, look.
Oh, they just updated that.
They just updated
because
this.
That used to say 400 and.
All new interior. All this is updated now.
So
got it
in real time.
So.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So there's new information that we haven't seen.
But see, it looks like this might be.
They did talk about capacitive. I don't know about capacitive, or maybe just tilt. You push it in certain parts.
But no stalks and no shifting. How does that work?
That's why I wonder how you're gonna do the windshield wipers. If you need to do a quick courtesy wipe or something, or how do you do your turn signals? Well.
I don't know, but the fact that he said courtesy wipe made me laugh. Oh man.
These don't make noise, remember? You know what? They just don't do any good because they don't spread out until it hits the ceiling.
And thank you, Daniel, for the $20.
Thank you, Dan.
We're still working.
Sorry, these are new confetti that we got, and obviously they're not the same as the old one. But unfortunately,
look, you get digital confetti too.
They don't spread out until it hits the ceiling, and then But
we're still working on the confetti. Thank you so much for the $20, Daniel. That's wild.
Yeah.
Bravo is so much correct. My delivery date has disappeared. I love the update. I want to know. Oh.
Yeah, so that's one thing, again, we talked about that the S should be
did.
coming out a month earlier than the X. And that's one thing. Originally, they were saying it was going to be February, I believe. But things have been delayed a little bit.
Yeah, I'm logging into my account real quick. Hold on. I need to two-factor authenticate. Give me one sec.
That is interesting because we pointed out earlier that they still had the old pictures of the S on the main screen, and it had the old range of 402 miles. So just when we went and checked, it now shows the newer pictures. So and the pictures down below of the interior.
Oh, so, I'm typing on the wrong keyboard. Oh my god.
Yeah. You should put. Can you put the that website over? Because it's a Put
this.
No, the one over there with all the pictures of the interior.
You bet.
Yeah. So and it cycles through it. So basically, we were talking about this earlier. So again, it's a 17-inch screen, horizontal, looks more integrated than what we see in the 3Y.
It looks so well integrated, but how are they going to make it tilt? Because it says it tilts
it
left to right.
It could be built in a frame, and that maybe the screen itself, but not the frame around it doesn't.
Oh, and actually, real quick, confetti, because you all are amazing. If you want to order an S or X, I don't push my referral code. But if you want to, it's down there. You can use it.
In the YouTube description, right?
Yep. Thank you, Liam, for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate that. It said there's 2 thumb buttons. Zoom in on the wheel. There's touch thumb buttons. Yeah, so it looks like it's almost like capacitive touch buttons.
Interesting.
I
just hope it's something you don't accidentally touch.
So my X delivery date has disappeared. Interesting.
How about the on the regular S?
I wonder what does it say for my price?
Check the Plaid one as well, because the Plaid one, they might be building those first.
Well, it says, well,
You know, the Plaid
yeah,
Plus.
I'm looking now. I
We
would
have-
show you guys this, but it does
We
have
a few-
identifying
we have
information.
a few
so I
reservations to
can't.
go through to see, because basically we have a reservation for an S, we have a reservation for a Plaid S, and a reservation for an X. We're not going to get all three of those, but we just want to kind of lock in the prices if that's the way that Tesla.
So the
will be
Plaid
doing.
S doesn't. It says just prepare for delivery, but the Plaid S that we have says it's $150,000. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Who ordered that on my account?
We did that live on a video a couple months back.
That was me.
Yeah.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. It said new steering wheels flatter on the bottom for better hand resting for FSD. Turn signal for the right and left is on the wheel itself. Yeah,
It'd
so
be
those
nice-
are those touch
so,
buttons.
So yeah, it's
Oh
good
my
that
God,
it's
we're
more
getting tons of
comfortable
super
for
chats.
resting, but it'd be nice if you didn't necessarily had to hold your hand on the steering wheel. It'd be nice if the camera was an upgraded version that actually was seeing that you were paying attention, so you don't have to necessarily
And
have hands on the
hopefully
wheel.
that's what they do with the new camera that's interior.
Yes, exactly. Because some of the
yeah.
other, like Cadillac, I think, or some other cars, you don't necessarily have to have your hands on the steering wheel.
Yep. Tony 4D with the $5 super chat said there are arrow buttons on the left hand side of the scroll wheel for turn signals. Yep, great eye.
Okay, interesting.
And then Gordon Lowe with the
Another
$5 super
okay,
chat.
thank you, Joel
No
Gordon.
message. Really appreciate it. If you had a message, put it down below. I can't wait to take delivery again. I can't wait. I'm so excited for deliveries. This really makes me excited. And these look dope.
So it'll be interesting to see
yeah.
those. So when we did make that $100 reservation, are we locked in at the other price? Does
And
do you
see, when I
any-
pull it up, it doesn't list prices, which
So,
is making me wonder.
Hopefully they still honor that price. If not, then they would at least apply that $100 towards it. And I think they'll give us a call, because we did see in the past when Autopilot 2 hardware came out, there was no price difference on the hardware, but for the software, the price went from $2,500 up to $5,000, and they had to call everybody who had a reservation and say, hey, do you want to pay that extra $2,500 to get the enhanced Autopilot, or do you just want to stick with the base version of Autopilot? So it'd be interesting with this car. Are you going to be locked in at the old price? If not, you're not out any money. They're either going to have to refund your $100 or apply that $100 towards the price of the car.
Exactly. So I wonder, is Tesla going to be, like, employees going to be busy calling everybody tomorrow and be like, hey, new one was announced. We can either give you your 100 back, which is non-refundable, but because they changed it.
Yeah.
Or would you like to move forward with the new pricing? And I'm downloading my MVPAs, which is my order agreement, basically, so we can talk about the price and actually compare apples to apples.
Yeah. And by the way, it looks like there's 15 minutes or so until the call starts. So
Thank you.
We'll stop talking once the call actually starts. We might make a few comments here or there, but we'll be quiet so you guys can listen in on that.
Yeah. So currently the new S is at $91,990. You can see the purchase price down here.
So the price
And
went
so
up.
with our $100 gamble, if they let us keep it, we locked it in at $82,220. That's like
Yeah.
money in the bank.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Now for Model X, let's see what that changed to. If we do what we had ordered, we did the long range.
This was just
the
a couple
white,
weeks ago.
The free rims, the white interior, the 6 seats, and the FSD. That brings it up to $108,490, and we placed an order for $99,290. We might have just made like 20 grand.
I don't know. That seems
That seems almost too
good
big
to
of a
be true.
delta.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what Tesla decides to do.
But we got a Danish kroner super chat from Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you. He's asking if the 17-inch screen is coming to 3Y. I doubt it. I think
No.
it's something they're just going to keep.
They need to differentiate.
For that price, because we're just talking about the price of the S and Y. Excuse me, S and X is a lot more than the 3 and Y. So I think you're going to still have the smaller screen.
Yeah.
But and I doubt they're going to fit. But you never know. I know there will some people who will try it.
Not pointing any fingers or anything, but we'll try
we
it.
predicted there was going to be like a 17-inch screen just because that's what we saw in the Cybertruck when that was unveiled, and we did that test drive on that back in, 2019?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, 10 out of 10 Tesla. That interior looks amazing. I
Yeah,
love
and so-
how the screen
yeah.
is so integrated.
On's
seamless.
asking, on our regular is asking about the exterior differences. Not a lot. We
Really,
see-
the front bumper and the rear bumper.
and the chrome delete, and also the
chrome
chrome on the
delete.
side is
Yeah.
like totally gone. They don't even have like the black strip on the side. It's just body color. And that piece of metal is not there
a good
anymore.
thing to show, like, this is the previous model. This website hasn't updated yet. You see that chrome strip down there? It was hideous. We wrapped it on all our cars.
Yeah.
I don't
we
like
wrapped it red.
chrome,
We
and I
wrapped
think
it
it's
red,
out
yeah.
of place. So if you go to custom order, you can actually see
It's gone.
it's gone. Thank God.
But other than that, I mean, we can't tell. We don't know if there's new headlights. I would hope they would have new headlights,
think
kind of
there
like
is.
what we're seeing in the 3 and Y. Maybe the the ones that they can use one set and use them in different markets and have different functionality depending on what country they're in. So hopefully that's what we'll see in the S, but we don't have the details on that yet.
Yeah.
And the taillights, we don't know if the taillights look the same, but maybe they've changed those as well.
Yeah. Tommy, another 25
Danish
Kroner?
kroner, yeah, Danish kroner.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy. Said, but Cybertruck is 40K with 17-inch.
Supposedly that's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they showed in 2019 when they had that prototype there. And I see Liam just asked if we think.
Oh,
the
thank you,
Cybertruck-
Liam, for the super chat.
I would think. Well, I don't know. I would hope the Cybertruck would have it.
It's got to.
At least on the tri-motor version.
But the Cybertruck is cheaper than the S and the X.
Yeah,
so
that's what
maybe
I'm
it
like,
won't.
I don't know. That's a
That's
good question.
yeah.
But with the tri-motor one, that costs a little more. Maybe they would add it on that one.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Matt?
I've
there's
been
Matt.
slacking.
I don't know
We
if that's.
need-
Is that Matt from the other day? I don't know, but he has got a question. He wants to say.
I need to do some digital confettis because.
Oh yeah, we're missing out.
So I'm just gonna click this a bunch. Sorry guys, I've slacked with the digital confetti. We have 1,000 people in chat today,
Wow,
by the
cool,
way.
thanks. That's a pretty good turnout.
If you're
And-
new here, subscribe.
Yeah, like basically we are Tesla fans. We've bought 12
Yep.
Teslas over the last 5 years, and
And
we
2 more on the way.
well, at least 2 more. We have
true.
multiple reservations.
Actually,
multiple
4,
roadsters.
5,
we have
6.
Cybertrucks.
We have 8 Teslas pending delivery, 4 Roadsters, an S, an X, and 2 Cybertrucks.
We're not getting all of those, but they are on the account currently.
They are.
So we'll be taking a few deliveries though in the coming years.
But thank you all. Definitely subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button and keep up with us.
and again, we're going to
But-
pause in about
Yep.
10 minutes probably for the call when they have the earnings call. We'll listen into it, so you can either listen to it with us, and we'll be quiet. We might have a few comments here or there, but we'll stop the chat.
Yeah.
And we probably won't reply to chat too much while we're listening in on the call.
Yeah. So Matt, real quick, thank you for the $5 super chat. Let me catch up real quick.
And-
Said I want to say in the protos they were driving, it looked like there was a projector matrix headlight. Yeah, it did look
That would be
different.
cool.
So I mean, that would be
and
cool.
that's something we've seen in other like competitors like Audi and stuff where I've actually seen, like, I think it was Audi where they showed a demo and they were using it like it was a movie projector.
Yeah.
Now, you're not going to do that when you're driving, but that just shows how with the right programming they can block it out. So if there's oncoming traffic, you can basically be driving with like high beams all the time, but it will have little blocks, so it will block out oncoming cars so that you're not blinding those drivers. And that's something that they would probably have as a feature for European cars. So hopefully eventually the US will have that as well. And the cool thing is if the hardware's the same, it would just be a software feature to turn it on in the United States.
Yeah, and for those of you wondering, we have 8 minutes and 25 seconds left until that earnings call, in which case we expect Elon to come on and tell us a lot more about these refreshes. Not to mention, they had a pretty banging fourth quarter. They have a
Yeah, we
ton
haven't
of
talked
cash
about
in the
that at
bank.
all, yeah.
Let's actually run through that just real quick.
Almost 500,000 deliveries last quarter.
So if you look here, it actually says they 500,000 produced and delivered in 2020. So they revised their numbers a little bit. Model Y production in Shanghai started real quick. We got a super chat.
These don't make any noise, so. Oh. This is kind of lame.
I think you got to keep turning it.
Maybe you have to go the other direction. These are lame. Anyways, who is it that gave the super chat? Oh, wee.
Oh, that was a good one. IH Diet said, just sending some love from Montana. Thank you so much
Thanks.
for the $10 super chat. Killing it.
We need to get some
And
different ones. These are lame.
for that, you get some digital confetti.
Woo. But anyways, yeah.
So yeah,
More fourth quarter news.
All this fourth quarter news, this is blowing my mind here. They have 16 million, I think, in the bank. Let me look real quick. 19 billion in the bank.
Wow.
Love to see it.
And something-
Everything is going amazing. Actually,
Dave-
let me just confirm that.
Do you have the stock ticker still up? Because David is pointing out that the stock is dropping.
So there's the stock. It's down $34 right now.
And we've seen this in the past. I think it was like the last quarter call. It's weird, but the price drops, and then like the next day it'll go back up. But it's amazing. We saw price drop just like this last quarterly meeting.
I think it dropped because everyone... Oh, more confetti. I think it dropped because everyone is throwing their money into GameStop.
Maybe, yeah.
Connor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Said Colorado Springs is the best Colorado city. Just saying, LOL. I mean,
well, congratulations on your new
might
service.
talk about
new
that.
service center down there in
True.
Colorado Springs. Hopefully, they'll be adding a new supercharger. We know we're getting one up there in Monument. Hopefully, that'll be convenient to you.
yeah. He said also stoked to see updates on the SNX. Wish they did more exterior though. I can't lie. I agree with you, and I think what we saw at the Nürburgring last year, the wide body S. I think that's what's going to be considered the Plaid Plus
Wait, okay.
version.
RD has mentioned this a few times, but RD is saying that UK delivery is 2022.
What?
That's like a year away.
Holy
And that's
crap.
unusual because we heard that they had a price increase like a month or two back of like £5,000, and that the delivery date was supposed to be like March, but now it's saying 2022.
So I know when
That
they
doesn't
bring
sound
out
right.
new models, sometimes it takes a lot to be able to get them approved in certain regions. Maybe that's it.
But that's
seems
crazy.
wild.
I mean, it definitely is because they have the right-hand drive or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that. But
That seems
a
too
year?
long, though.
That's kind of They can't just. I don't know. I can't believe they will have delayed it for a year because they're going to lose out on all that market
yeah.
for a year.
Also, I'm getting a lot of comments asking about the Model Y. She's good. She's golden. I've driven her the past 2 days.
We have fixed it. Yeah, it was bricked.
Update coming soon. But yeah, I did brick it. So that's fun.
Tesla's mobile service came out on. Was it Monday? They came out
Yeah.
Monday afternoon and took care of everything. Only took a couple minutes, and we knew it was a software issue, and that's all it took.
But I have a surprise for you, and I'm only going to let you guys
yes.
know.
Other-
If Diego is in chat and
Diego's going to
says,
be excited about
Diego, if you are in chat and you say you want to hear
He's
the
there.
secret, I'll tell everybody, all 1,000 people in chat, the secret. Because I got some juicy secrets going on.
Are you going to tell them right now, or you're?
I'm waiting for Diego to say he's still
He
in
was
chat.
there. He was in there earlier.
Diego,
There he is.
are you
He
here?
said secrets. He just said it.
Secrets. Okay, Diego's in chat, so you all get to win. So thank Diego for this. They can enable Boombox by connecting to your car, and I now have Boombox on a June build Model Y.
Yeah, that we bought the pedestrian warning system speaker, installed it ourselves. The pedestrian warning system sounds work, but Boombox did not work, and we figured it's just a little bit they need to flip in the configuration. They flipped it. It works, and we were playing around with that on Monday afternoon.
Yep. So they are, from what I have heard from the mothership, which is kind of like unconfirmed, they are, I know pre-earnings music has started. We will go over once they actually start talking. I'm
have it
putting in my
running there?
earbud. News.
We might need to swap
Anywho,
seats there.
the mothership is working on making it so it's just plug and play.
It's
but
stupid
as
for
of
a
right now,
speaker,
they
yeah.
have to actually enable it with their computer. It has to be physically plugged into your Tesla.
Yeah, and we have heard that some people have contacted their service center, paid for them to install the speaker, and gotten enabled. But in our case, we bought the speaker months ago. Was it back in June or July? Added the speaker back then and confirmed that the pedestrian warning system worked fine because the wiring was already there. But it's nice that they finally turned it on for us on that mobile service visit. So that's something that hopefully, especially for speakers, something should be plug and play. I can understand with like the center console and the key card access, needing to pair that, but a speaker should just work.
I would also like to show you guys, we have just a few minutes here. The call music has started. We will be tuning into that as soon as it has. We have audio and everything for you. But we are down $33 after hours.
After already like an almost $19 drop earlier in the day. So it's kind of...
And actually, real quick, let's make sure everything's dialed in. Can you guys hear everything? Can you guys hear the music okay? Can I get a thumbs up in chat if you can?
Yeah, I hear it.
You do? Perfect. Love
That
it.
wonderful hold music, yes.
So, yeah.
What happened to
it's
the techno
beautiful
music
hold
they used to
music.
have?
Well, I mean, this is like no copyright music, so
okay.
that's why they
Well,
do
used
it.
to have- yeah, whatever.
But anyway, we will be doing this call as soon as they go on. I have it in my ear, and we will show that to you, and that way we can all talk about it or listen to it together. We probably won't talk much during it, But afterwards, hopefully there's some other info. Oh wow, I have confetti all the way up here.
Yeah.
That we can talk about. Yeah. I guess I was wearing my short shorts, but I feel like I should change because we're down $33.
Something a little more. Oh well. Yeah.
Let me go change. I don't want to wear my short shorts now.
Can you come here for a second? Oh, okay. Here.
Don't look at me like that, chat.
Eyes up here.
Yeah, up here.
Okay. But yeah, some people are saying boombox is awesome. Oh yeah, and somebody says to mute our microphone while typing. So it might be.
Oh, okay.
So your microphone, his microphone is just like a few inches off of the keyboard, so we'll have to do that. And also, I don't know, should I turn my microphone off?
Yeah, we'll control that up here during the talk.
Okay.
When they
definitely let us know if,
going.
because I have my own separate mic and I'm going to be moving up there so I can see the screen better. So definitely
Not sponsored.
Let us
but
know
delicious.
if we need to adjust the microphones or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said booty box instead of boom box.
Oh.
And somebody keeps asking 2170 cells. We don't know yet. They could be 4680 cells.
Yeah.
Tesla basically said they have totally redesigned the battery pack and the modules. They might have gone to 2170 cells, or they might have jumped to 4680s. We don't know. I'm hoping they didn't stick with the 18650s.
Liam said, shot of Tesla tequila every time Elon says,
We already
I value my life.
Yeah, we already had, for those of you who missed it earlier, we already did have our extra large shots of Tesla tequila. You can see we've now taken the, is this the bottle right here? We have now consumed, yeah, whoops.
So
yeah.
that's, you have to do this,
can
camera,
see-
sorry.
No,
I had to
it was right here. It was
autofocus.
fine.
Well, it won't get in focus.
It's it's good enough. They can see
do it right here.
They can see the liquid level. But basically, when we did a taste test a few weeks back, we consumed about $28, which is 2 shots worth. Today, these shots seem to be extra large. I'm thinking that might have been closer to $50 worth of Tesla tequila consumed.
For you guys, chat, we love you.
So if you didn't see that, definitely check back, rewind to the beginning of the video after the stream is over, and you will see those Tesla tequila shots.
We're going to go to this just for now so you guys know.
It's like,
oh, real quick, John with the $5 super chat.
hey John, thanks
Let me
again.
see.
To Tesla's Q4 2020 financial
Did we
results
unbrick the
and
car?
Q&A
Yes.
Yes, we
webcast.
did. It was
At this time,
fixed
all
on Monday
participants are in a listen-only
afternoon.
mode.
Mobile
After
service.
the
It's
speaker
happening.
presentation, there
It's
will
happening.
be a question and
Wait,
answer session. To ask a question during the session, you will need to press star 1 on your telephone. Please be advised that today's conference is being recorded. If you require any further assistance, please press star 0. I would now like to hand the conference over to your speaker, Mr. Martin Vieca, Senior Director of Investor Relations. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Sherry, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tesla's fourth quarter 2020 Q&A webcast. I'm joined today by Elon Musk, Zachary Kirkhorn, and a number of other executives. Our Q4 results were announced at about 1 p.m. Pacific time in the update deck we published at the same link as this webcast. During this call, we will discuss our business outlook and make forward-looking statements. These comments are based on our predictions and expectations as of today. Actual events or results could differ materially due to a number of risks and uncertainties, including those mentioned in our most recent filings with the SEC. During the question and answer portion of today's call, please limit yourself to 1 question and 1 follow-up. Please press star 1 now if you'd like to join the question queue. But before we jump into Q&A, Elon has some opening remarks. Elon?
Thank you. So just to recap the year, 2020 was a defining year for us on many levels. Despite a challenging environment, we reached an important milestone of producing and delivering 500,000 cars. I'd just like to once again thank the people at Tesla for an incredible effort. We delivered almost as many cars last year as we produced in our entire history. So really an incredible growth rate, and despite a very challenging 2020. So my hat is off. It's such an honor to work with such great people at Tesla. So, and for the year, we achieved free cash flow of nearly $2.8 billion after spending more than $3 billion on building new factories and other expenditures. We reached industry-leading GAAP operating margin in addition to positive net income and record cash flow. Regarding capacity expansion, while we focus on execution, we continue to build a lot of new capacity. We started producing the Model Y out of Fremont and have almost reached full production speed. we ramped the Model 3 in Shanghai to more than 5,000 cars a week sustainably, and Shanghai continues to grow rapidly. We introduced the heat pump to all of our vehicles. We ramped the single piece. We started and were able to ramp to volume production the single piece castings for Model Y. This is where, for the first time in history, the entire rear third skeleton of a car is being cast as a single piece in the largest and most advanced casting machine ever made. We built a Model Y factory in China from start to finish in 1 year. We're also building Giga Berlin and Giga Texas, which we expect to start production later this year. And lastly, we built a battery cell factory in the Bay Area. And this, even though it is a pilot plant, its capacity is large enough that it would be in probably the top 10 battery cell factories on Earth, despite being a pilot plant. Regarding the new Model X, S and X, we are launching we're super excited to announce the new Model S and Model X Plaid are in production now and will be delivered in February. So we've been able to bring forward the Plaid Model S and X, and so Model S will be delivered in February and Model X a little later. The Model S Plaid, we're actually in production now, and we'll be delivering next month. So this is a tri-motor Model S with a completely new interior. There are actually a lot of great things about this. I'll do another call about the Model S later, but it's really a tremendous improvement over the prior version. And the Model S will be the first. This Model S Plaid will be the first production car ever that is able to go 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 2 seconds. So no production car ever has been able to get below 2 seconds, 0 to 60. This is a luxury sedan that is able to go 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds, and will have the ability to seat up to 7 people with the third row seats. So this is pretty nuts. This is faster, to be clear, than any car. It's not like there was a different type of car, like a two-door sports car, that was able to do better faster than this. This is the fastest accelerating car ever made that is allowed to go on roads in history. And like I said, we'll start delivering it in a matter of weeks. And like I said, I'll do something that gets into the details of all the Model S changes, maybe later this week or next. But it's really better in many ways. We will be actually raising the price of Model S for this new model. So people who got the old model, the new model will be $10,000 more. So hopefully people aren't too upset if they bought the old model last month, but this one's $10K more. So yeah, we think it's probably the best car of any kind at any price available in the world today. So, then with regard to full self-driving, we've made massive progress on full self-driving. If I recommend watching the videos of our public beta. So we've got, I think, almost 1,000 people in the beta at this point, and with each successive release of the beta of the FSD software, it's really improving rapidly. It's now very common for I drive the latest builds. It's very common for me to have no interventions on drives that I do, including drives to places I've never been to. So these are not pre-planned routes. The car's never been there before, and it's now actually more. It's more common than not for the car to have no interventions, even on a complex drive. So, and this is like basically, I'm highly confident the car will be able to drive itself with a reliability in excess of human this year. This is a very big deal. And thinking about how does one justify the value of the company being where it is? And I think there is a way, just with back of the envelope math, to potentially justify it, where, if Tesla ships, let's say hypothetically, 50 or 60 billion dollars worth of vehicles, and those vehicles become full self-driving and can be used in robotaxis, uses robotaxis, their utility increases from an average of 12 hours a week to potentially an average of 60 hours a week if they're capable of serving as a robotaxi. So that's like roughly a 5x increase in utility. But let's, even if you say like, okay, well, let's just assume that the car becomes twice as useful as, not 5 times useful, but merely twice as useful. That would be a doubling again of the revenue of the company, which is almost entirely gross margin. So it would mean it would be like, okay, if you made $50 billion worth of cars, it would be like having $50 billion of incremental profit, basically, from that, because it's just software. So, and if that were the case, then yeah, if you do 20 PE on that, it's like $1 trillion, and the company is still in high growth mode. So I think there is a way to sort of like, justify the valuation of the company where it is, using just the cars and nothing else, cars with FSD. And I suspect at least some number of investors are taking that approach. So in conclusion, while 2020 was a turning point for Tesla, and in terms of profitability, we believe this is just the beginning. We think 2021 is going to be even more exciting, and you don't know what to expect in a given year. Obviously, last year there were many things we did not expect. But assuming that 21 is a relatively normal year from an external standpoint, I think it's going to be a great year for Tesla. We've got a ton of, many great new products coming out. We've got factories that are advanced factories that can start up production. It'll also make it easier having a factory in Berlin, one in Texas that can, just from a logistics standpoint, Texas can help supply the eastern half of the U.S. and Berlin can help supply Europe. And there's just fewer cars on boats, much less capital tied up, with the cars that are, on boats or being transported to customers. And I think the fundamental efficiency of the company will be much better with the factories, at least having factories on each continent and having 2 factories in the U.S. So I'm super excited about the future, and really look forward to making it happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think our CFO, Zach Kirkhorn, has some opening remarks as well.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. As Elon mentioned, 2020 has been an extremely successful year while managing through many unforeseen and unexpected challenges. On cash, we continue to generate strong free cash flows, reaching a record $1.9 billion in Q4, alongside growth and investment for future programs. Additionally, we've been able to reduce our use of debt and various working capital lines, including settling $2 billion of convertible debt in Q4, which will continue into Q1. For net income, we achieved our first calendar year and 6 sequential quarters of profitability. In addition, auto gross margin excluding credits improved from 2019 to 2020, despite reductions in ASP and inefficiencies from new product launches and transitions. On Q4 specifically, this was a noisy quarter, so let's unpack a few things. Stock-based comp increased, part of which is driven by the rise of the stock price over the course of our 2020 employee performance grant process, and a portion of which is unique to Q4 only. The impact of SBC increases is seen across both COGS as well as operating expenses. Automotive gross margin in Q4 was primarily impacted by 2 things. First, we invested in improving our products built in Fremont, including converting over to the new Model S and Model X, launching the single-piece castings on Model Y, and introducing heat pump on Model 3. Second, logistics and labor costs were impacted due to supply chain instability and pandemic inefficiencies. Adjusting for items such as these, as we do in our internal management views, we saw an improvement in auto gross margin. Our services and other P&L was impacted by many of the same factors just mentioned, including onboarding costs associated with new service capacity. However, what's most important here is that we've accelerated the growth in service capacity and will continue to drive capacity expansion as fast as possible. On energy gross margin, we saw an impact from solar roof-related ramp costs and typical seasonality in the lease PPA business. OPEX as a percentage of revenue continues to reduce despite impacts from items mentioned, as well as increased investment in development of future products. Finally, the early settlement of our convertible notes resulted in an additional $100 million of interest expense for the quarter. All that being said, nothing has changed about our view that operating margin will continue to grow and remain industry-leading. As we look forward, 2021 may be our most meaningful step forward yet, as we see the benefits of long-standing investments in capacity and technology. The range of possible outcomes this year is wide, given the magnitude of launches. Thus, a few things we should keep in mind. We continue to expect a long-term volume CAGR of 50%, of which we may materially exceed this in 2021. As we increase production rates, volumes will skew towards the second half of the year, and ramp inefficiencies will be a part of this year's story and are necessary to achieve our long-term goals. Specifically for Q1, our volumes will have the benefit of early Model Y ramp in Shanghai. However, S and X production will be low due to the transition to the newly re-architected products. Additionally, we're working extremely hard to manage through the global semiconductor shortage as well as port capacity, which may have a temporary impact. We will continue to invest heavily in supercharging and service capacity while driving reductions on cost, including OPEX as a percentage of revenue. Global demand continues to outpace production, and we're moving as quickly as we can with a focus on the long term. I look forward to providing updates on progress throughout the year.
Thank you very much. And now we can jump straight into questions from Say Technologies. The first question from institutional investors is, what is currently holding Tesla back from being the market share leader in solar?
Yeah, so we're actually seeing tremendous growth in solar quarter over quarter last year. And we had our best quarter since, I think, 2018 in Q4. So we do actually expect to become the market share leader in solar and then go far beyond that. Unfortunately, there were a few years there where we had to devote the whole company to Model 3 production, and building. We have to basically take the whole company, including a bunch of people that were on solar, and have them work on cars. But now we've got a little more bandwidth. We're putting a lot of attention on solar, and it is growing rapidly. So I think it will not be long before Tesla is by far the market leader in solar.
Another really important part of the solar strategy is achieving an industry-leading cost structure, which then allows us to have industry-leading pricing. And so that's something that we've accomplished over the last year in terms of getting the cost structure in the place that it needs to be. And as Elon mentioned, this is a really important part with industry-leading pricing to become the leader in the space.
Yeah, and actually, an important part is achieving better integration between the Tesla Powerwall and the Tesla retrofit solar and Tesla roof. And we're confident we'll have excellent integration with the Powerwall and Tesla Solar, whether it's retrofit or the solar glass roof before the end of the year. So it's really, I think we've got a good strategy. As Zach mentioned, we're focused on reducing the amount of time and the complexity of the install, and we're making great progress in that regard. And I think we'll have something that's really dialed in this year.
Thank you. The second question is, could current owners get ability to transfer their FSD to their next vehicle? This would be a huge for loyalty and overall increased sales of vehicles while offering more FSD sales on used vehicles.
Unfortunately, we're not considering that at this time. We do actually offer an increase, a higher price than for a car with FSD than the one without FSD. And I do think that the market currently undervalues, or the consumer market and arguably the stock market does probably undervalue just how good FSD is going to be. but we're not currently planning on allowing it to get transferred.
Thank you.
We will be offering subscription pretty soon in the next month or two. So that should address a lot of people's concerns for being able to get it.
Thank you very much. And the third question is, can you give us a progress update on dry coating of the battery electrode? At the battery day, Elon said, I would not say this is completely in the bag yet as the yields were low.
Drew?
Yeah, sure. It's true. The in-house cell manufacturing system we revealed at Battery Day contained new processes and equipment. So we did expect some unknown unknowns and technical challenges to arise through the production ramp. The Cato team, however, has been able to solve each manufacturing problem presented to date and continues to improve yield and rate week over week and month over month as we move up the production S-curve. At the same time, the cell engineering team's refined designs and deepened understanding has reinforced our confidence in the drive process and 4680 design, meeting our performance and cost targets. And from a capacity perspective, we have 10 gigawatt hours worth of equipment landed at Cato. The production staff is nearly all hired. Our material supply chain is established, and the team is on track for full production ramp this year. Meanwhile, we've developed enough engineering confidence with our 4680 design and the production process and equipment to kick off manufacturing equipment and facility construction to support our 100 gigawatt hour 2022 goal.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is, why are you confident Tesla will achieve level 5 autonomy in 2021, and why is Dojo not necessary to get there?
I guess I'm confident based on my understanding of the technical roadmap and the progress that we're making between each beta iteration. As I was saying, it's now not remarkable at all for the car to completely drive you from one location to another through a series of complex intersections. It's now about just improving the corner case reliability and getting it, to 99.9999% reliable with respect to an accident. Basically, we need to get it to better than human by a factor of at least 100% or 200%. But this is happening rapidly because we've got so much training data with all the cars in the field. And the software is improving dramatically. We also write the software for labeling. And I must say it is quite challenging. We're moving everything towards video labeling. So it's all video labeling, all video inference. And so there's still a few of the neural nets that need to be upgraded to video training and video inference. And really, as we've transitioned each net to video, the performance has become exceptional. So this is like a hard thing. The video, the labeling software that we wrote for video labeling, making that better has a huge effect on the efficiency of labeling. And then, of course, the holy grail is auto labeling. So we're putting a lot of work into having the labeling tool be more efficient when used by a person, as well as enabling auto labeling where we can. Dojo is a sort of training supercomputer. We believe it'll be. We think it may be the best neural net training computer in the world by possibly an order of magnitude. So it is a whole thing in and of itself. And this is something we could offer potentially as a service. So if others need neural net training, we're not trying to keep it to ourselves. So I think Dojo could be a whole line of business in and of itself. And then, of course, for training vast amounts of video data and getting the reliability from say 100% to 200% better than average human to 2,000% better than average human. So it will be very helpful in that regard.
Thank you. The next question is, what is Tesla's current gigawatt-hour run rate of the 4680 cell production? How do you see this run rate evolving by mid-2021 or end of 2021?
I think we kind of talked about that, Drew. I mean, essentially what we're saying is that the number to think about, focus on, is like we've got 100 gigawatt hour total that Tesla cells produced in 2022. It's not that important to look at the run up to there because these things tend to improve exponentially. But we are installing capacity for it, in 2022 for 200 gigawatt hours a year, and we think probably we should be able to achieve 50% of targeted design capacity in 2022.
Yeah, agreed, Elon. And as you've said before, with the S-curve of production, you can be off a little bit on the initial part of the S-curve, and that makes a difference in absolute capacity by quite a bit 1 month to the next. So,
yeah,
I mean, we are progressing up that S-curve as fast as we possibly can.
Yeah, and we don't see any showstoppers. So.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And one more question from retail investors. What is Tesla doing to improve service experience? Tesla had a reputation for outstanding customer service. Now it's impossible to even call a service center, and appointments are scheduled weeks out. Jerome?
Yes. Well, first, best service, no service. So we spent a lot of effort trying to improve the quality and the reliability of our cars. In the last 2 years, the frequency of service visits are reduced by 1/3. So customers have to come less frequently in service, which is really the goal, no service. And if service has to take place, we're trying to make it as painless as possible. One big effort there is to increase mobile service, which is now more than 40% of all visits in North America. We're trying to push that to 50% this year. In 50% of service visits last less than 2 hours. So we're trying to service the cars very quickly so people can get their vehicles back on the road. And in terms of service appointment, it continues to improve. We have actually 140 service centers right now in North America. For 100 out of those 140, you can get appointments in less than 10 days. And we're going to make sure it's all service centers have a short wait time. We're accelerating, as Zach mentioned earlier, the pace of opening. In North America, we opened 11 centers in December, and we have plans to open 46 in the first half of this year. So that's what we're doing to improve service. In terms of phones, our emphasis is on the app. Really, we want all communications to go through the app, the Tesla app, and we're trying to move away from the phone. The app is much better than the phone. It can spot alerts directly from the car and schedule a service appointment. There is a written record of all communication between the customer and the service team. You can have pictures in there. You can take care of your payment without entering the credit card and doing all that stuff. You get updates on the service. And there's even more features that are going to come in the coming months on the app, and that I think everybody will be happy, including the ability to spot where your service technician is and how far it is to coming from your car and what's going on there. So we are investing everything on the app, I think just like most other companies as well, and that's the way of the future.
Thank you very much. And now let's go to institutional investor questions. The question number one, what are the key milestones we need to achieve in order to evolve current FSD to a commercial level 4, level 5 ride-sharing solution?
Yeah, so it really goes back to what I was saying a moment ago, which is we need to transition over the neural nets in the car to video. And in order to do that, the whole stack has to be stack has to be changed to video. So that means gathering video clips, then using and this is actually surround video. So you've got 8 cameras operating simultaneously with synchronized frame rates. So you've got basically 8 frames surround video, 8 cameras surround video, and then you've got to label basically everything in that video snippet, and then train against that, and then have those neural nets operate the car. And this is coming from the past where we would label the neural nets would be a single camera, single frame. So no video and not combining the cameras. And then we went from single frame, one frame at a time, one camera at a time neural nets to surround camera neural nets where it would look at images from all 8 cameras, but only one frame at a time. And now to where we include the time dimension, and that's video. So I really just see this as a question of getting the work done. We're getting it done, and you can see the results in the rapidly improving FSD betas that are released. And we're also going to be expanding the FSD beta itself to include more and more people. So, and from my standpoint, it looks like a very clear and obvious path towards a vehicle that will drive, 100% safer than a person. Yeah, I really do not see any obstacles here. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And the second question from institutionals is, does Tesla plan or expect to license any of its software applications, FSD, and AutoBidder in particular, to third-party OEMs?
I think we're very open to licensing our software to third parties. And we've had some preliminary discussions about licensing Autopilot to other OEMs. So this is something we're more than happy to do. But I think obviously we need to probably do a little bit more work to prove that Tesla Autopilot is capable of full self-driving, which I think will become obvious later this year. And then we're more than happy to license that to other car companies. We're definitely not trying to keep it to be a Tesla exclusive situation. And I think that probably the same goes for AutoBidder. We haven't thought as much about AutoBidder, but the Tesla philosophy is definitely not to create walled gardens. We're going to allow other companies to use our supercharger networks, using our autonomy software and AutoBidder and perhaps other things would be fine too.
Thank you. The next question is, key differences in product customer preferences, FSD strategy between China and the rest of the world. Do we need to do things differently to win the Chinese EV market?
Well, we currently are we are currently the leader in the Chinese EV market. So I think we must be doing something right if we're the best-selling electric car in China. That said, very few of our customers in China, I think it may be as low as 1 or 2%, actually have selected the FSD option. This is much lower than the rest of the world. We definitely need to make it work well in China. I think as soon as it works well in China, then we will have a high take rate for FSD. I find the customers in China, Tesla owners in China, are among the most discerning in the world. Their attention to detail is incredible. So I'm confident that they will buy FSD as soon as it is working well in China. And hopefully that is later this year.
Thank you. And the next question is it fair to argue that the best way to think about companies' long-term earnings power is tied to profit per unit of battery capacity? 3 terawatt-hours target from battery day implies half of long-term battery capacity goes to storage, depending on what you assume for pack size on Elon's 20 million vehicle unit goal.
It is. So the fundamental limit on electric vehicles right now, in general, is availability of cells. What's the output of battery cells in gigawatt hours? And you can't grow faster than that. Now, at Tesla, we've improved the efficiency of our cars dramatically, such that you can actually get pretty good range even with the standard range battery pack. It's in the high. It's approaching for Model 3. It's approaching the sort of high 200s, and with some slight continued improvements, we'll start to get to 300-mile range, even with a standard pack, and on order of 500 kilometers. So there's efficiency improvements in the car, but fundamentally, the growth is dependent on cell production, and there's obviously a lot of other companies that have a need for cells. So, but the reason Tesla is doing its own cell production is in order to accelerate the growth. It is not to make less use of our cell suppliers. In fact, I want to be really clear. Tesla wants to increase purchases from cell suppliers, and we've been very clear with our cell suppliers, whether it be CATL or Panasonic or LG, that we will take as many batteries as they can produce. So, and we urge them to increase their production, and we will buy as much as they can send to us. Obviously, there are some price limits on that because the car still needs to be affordable. But I'm just trying to be as clear as possible that our goal with making our own cells is not to disintermediate our suppliers. It is to supplement our suppliers. And we want our suppliers of cells to increase their production and, in addition, have our own production that is simply taking up the amount beyond which they are either unable or unwilling to increase their production. So it's an acceleration over and above what the most that our suppliers say they can produce for us. And so probably since the cell output drives vehicle output, probably the broad brushstroke value of Tesla is just what's the cell output that implies vehicle output, and then at least double that for the autonomy revenue, probably more than double, and that's how you figure out the value of the company, I think, long term.
Thank you very much. The next question is about 4680 cells, which we already covered in the retail section of this call. So let's go straight to the last question from institutional investors, which is, where are you in Cybertruck development? What are your expectations for Cybertruck deliveries in 2021?
All right, so we finished almost all of the Cybertruck engineering. So we're no longer iterating at the design center level or design level. We've got the design is fixed. We're getting to we'll soon order the equipment necessary to make the Cybertruck work. We're actually going to be using even bigger casting machines for the rear body of Cybertruck because you've got obviously a bigger vehicle and you've got a long truck bed that's going to support a lot of load. So we'll be using an 8,000-ton casting press for the rear body casting as opposed to a 6,000-ton for Model Y. So 6,000-ton was the biggest casting press in the world. 8,000-ton, obviously, quite a bit bigger than that. And I think it's going to be an incredible vehicle. If we get lucky, we'll be able to do a few deliveries towards the end of this year, but I expect volume production to be in 2022.
Thank you very much. And now we can start with questions in the queue.
Thank you. Our first question will come from Colin Rusch with Oppenheimer. Please go ahead.
Thanks so much, guys. Could you talk a little bit about the regulatory environment for FSD and how you're seeing that play out? Obviously, it's a bit of a moving target right now, and you guys are leading the way here, but we'd love to understand how those conversations are going and how you see that impacting the rollout of FSD throughout the balance of this year and into next year.
Okay. So Zach, do you want to start that, or Zach and Jerome?
You know, the what we're seeing right now in the U.S., for example, is a pretty dynamic space, but it's overall not particularly limiting on a rule basis. But what we're going to expect is to have to work with regulators to demonstrate really, really high reliability, as Elon said before. The rest of the world's fairly dynamic. In Europe, we see a general slowdown, generally not reaching past level 3 right now, with some impetus to start working on new working groups to reach past that. And China showed an interest in working on level 4 or even level 5 later this year. So we expect a pretty dynamic 2021 in the regulatory space, with leadership in the U.S. looking for manufacturers to demonstrate really good launches and really high reliability before releasing to wider and wider groups.
Thanks, guys. And then just a quick follow-up around inflation on some of the materials markets. Obviously, there's a lot going on as low interest rates flow through the basic materials space. Can you talk a little bit about the supply chain and how you're mitigating some of your exposure around some of your raw material costs?
And this is Jerome. Yeah, for supply chain, the first priority now is to deal with the disruptions from COVID and shipping, in particular boats between Asia and North America. But we're also looking forward to pricing, and we're watching this very closely for all the components. We are entering a series of long-term agreements with preferred suppliers to ensure that not only we're going to have enough quantity to support the growth, 50% CAGR, as Zach mentioned earlier, but also good pricing with appropriate sharing of the risks.
Thank you. Our next question will come from Dan Levy with Credit Suisse. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Two questions, one on 21 and just one on capital. First on 21, any expectations for what we should see on regulatory credit sales? And then the second question is on capital. Obviously, you raised a lot of capital in 2020. You know, what should we think about for use of those funds beyond just covering some of the maturities? And can you just give us a sense of what the elevated liquidity does and doesn't buy? Meaning, to what extent does elevated capital enable you to accelerate plans on building capacity or expanding vertical integration, accelerating timing on full self-drive features? So those are the questions. Thank you.
Sure. On the regulatory credit sales side, this isn't always an area that's extremely difficult for us to forecast. 2020 regulatory credit sales ended up being higher than our expectations, and it's difficult to give guidance on that. I mean, what I've said before is that in the long term, regulatory credit sales will not be a material part of the business, and we don't plan the business around that. It's possible that for a handful of additional quarters, it remains strong. It's also possible that it's not. You know, most of our regulatory credit revenue from Q4 was not lined up prior to the beginning of the quarter, and these were discrete deals that were struck over the course of the quarter. So I wish I could give you more on this, Dan, but it's a space that's extraordinarily difficult for us to forecast. On the second side, with respect to capital, a couple of things that we're thinking through there. So as I mentioned in my opening remarks, debt reduction is an important thing that we're focused on now. Early conversions, you know, these are things we don't have a choice on. We did around $2 billion of that in Q4. We currently have $1.4 billion that we expect to go out in Q1 as a result of early conversions or conversions on convertible debt. That number may increase, and so debt reduction is important. That's helpful on interest expense as well. We are also using the money with respect to our investments in future capacity. And so what we're able to do now that we haven't had the opportunity to do in the past is, as we're building capacity, particularly in Austin and Berlin. We can build that capacity with the expectation of what the end state of capacity will be, pulling forward some of those investments, rather than incrementally adding capacity as we go along. And so this is an important part in terms of capital efficiency that we haven't had the luxury to do in the past. And it's great to be able to have the liquidity to focus on that. And then more broadly, as Jerome was touching on, service expansion is really important to the future strategy of the company. So as you saw in our Q4 numbers, the expansion of service centers and mobile service from Q3 to Q4 increased quite a bit and was also quite a bit higher than the first part of the year. And so we're able now to make investments there and also in the supercharging network to get ahead of future demand, which will cost us more in the near term, but is what the right long-term thing is for our customers and the company.
Thank you. Our next question will come from Alex Potter with Piper Sandler. Please go ahead.
Great, thanks. Was wondering, you mentioned how you'd like to increase your purchases of cells from suppliers. Does this require them to also have the capability to build structural 4680 cells of the sort that you're putting in these newer iterations of vehicles?
No, it does not. Although we are talking with them about making the 4680 form factor, but it is not required. For example, the new S currently uses the 18650 form factor, so they're just a more advanced cell, and we think we'll continue to use that form factor for at least a few years. But we will over time be retiring the form factors and trying to move to a consistent form factor. So, but it is not a requirement that we place upon our suppliers because it would just result in fewer cells. So it's better for us to deal with the complexity of different cell form factors than insist on a single form factor for our suppliers today. Like I said, over time it will make sense to have a consistent form factor.
Okay, makes sense. And then one additional, maybe qualitative question on capacity expansion. You've mentioned in the past, access to dollars is one thing, but access to human beings that are sufficiently qualified is another. Have you run up against any issues on that front that would potentially limit your growth in any way? Thanks.
That is one of the things that limits growth or limits the growth rate. It doesn't limit the ultimate size, it limits the growth rate, which is what's the rate at which we can onboard great people and get them trained in the right areas. But you certainly can't instantaneously. If you've got a factory that has 20,000 employees, you can't just hire 20,000 people instantly. They're usually doing something else, so they've got to transition from whatever they were doing or move from some other part of the country. And so there's a certain amount of time required for that. That said, we do think that we can maintain a growth rate in excess of 50% per year for many years to come. At least at least 50% a year for many years to come. I think this year we may track to a fair bit above 50%, but we don't want to commit to that, but at least that's what it would appear. And the same again next year. It appears to be meaningfully above 50%.
Thank you. Our next question will come from Joseph Spak with RBC Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Thanks. Elon, back in 2018, you tweeted about electric vans and how it could be interesting to work with Daimler and the Sprinter. We haven't really heard of anything since, but in the meantime, we've seen a lot of activity in that electric van and last mile space from a number of established players and startups. So I know you said that you have a lot of projects on the table, but can you provide us an update of your thoughts on this market, and is it something you're interested in?
I think Tesla is definitely going to make an electric van at some point. The thing to bear in mind is that there is fundamentally a constraint on battery cell output. if one is not involved in manufacturing, it's really hard to appreciate just how hard it is to scale production. It's the hardest thing in the world. Prototypes are easy. Scaling production is very hard. A big part of the reason, the main reason we have not accelerated new products is, like for example, the Tesla Semi, is that we simply don't have enough cells for it. Like if we were to make the Semi like right now, which we could easily go into production with the Semi, but we would not have enough cells for it right now. We will have enough cells for the Semi when we are producing the Tesla 4680 in volume. But for example, Semi would use typically 5 times the number of cells that a car would use, but it would not sell for 5 times what a car would sell for. So it kind of would not make sense for us to do the Semi right now, but it will absolutely make sense for us to do it as soon as we can address the cell production constraint. The same would go for a van.
Okay, thank you. And then maybe if I could dig into your past on one more item. About 2 years ago at the Autonomy Day, you stated that you're working on the next-gen Tesla chip, which was about 2 years away. So is there any update on that front?
To be clear, we're still not, the software still does not fully use the capabilities of the FSD version 1 computer. It is really just an incredibly powerful computer, and I'm personally certain that you can achieve full self-driving with a safe level far in excess of a person just using the full self-driving version 1 computer. The version 2 we expect to be about 3 times as powerful, and this would need to be paired with high resolution cameras, so it's quite it requires a bunch of things to change simultaneously. But we have not been rushing the version 2 of the chip. It's coming along well. It's in good shape, but since we can achieve FSD full self-driving with the current system, it would actually be a distraction right now if we were to introduce the full self-driving, the Tesla FSD chip 2, because it would set us back quite a bit on software, and software is the critical path to full self-driving. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. That's an improvement, but not a game changer. The FSD 2, getting the software to work and getting all the neural nets to be video, that's the game changer.
Thank you. Our next question will come from Emmanuel Rosner with Deutsche Bank. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. My first question is about your in-house cell manufacturing efforts. So in addition to building up capacity, some of the goals you highlighted was to cut the pricing or the cost by about 50%, boost the range by about 50% over a number of years. So wanted to know if your initial efforts are, trending in that direction. What is sort of like the timeline to achieve these goals? And maybe related to this, how are you thinking about the timeline for the cheaper Tesla, the entry model, potentially?
I think we feel very confident about achieving those targets, let's say over a 3-year time frame. I don't know, Drew. It's not like year one. So 3, maybe 4 years. Give ourselves a little room, but for 3 or 4 years, I'd say, yeah.
We put together the trajectory, in the battery day, and we're on that trajectory still. I think that's probably the best reference for the cost trajectory that we are on.
Yeah, we're aspiring to do better than what was presented at Battery Day, but we're confident of at least for doing what we presented at Battery Day.
Thank you. Our next question will come from Ben Kalal with Baird. Please go ahead.
Hey, guys. Thank you, Elon. Congrats to the whole team. We're trying to put together all the breadcrumbs. If I remember correctly, going back 10 years, you talked about when you had a mass market car on the road that you would step down as CEO and be a chief architect, and then we have, you go into Hawaii to see Larry, and the X.com, and I'm trying to put it all together. So there's a lot of questions there. Thank you.
Sure. I expect to be CEO of Tesla for several years. So I think there's still a lot that I'm super excited about doing, and I think it would be hard to leave a lot of these great projects halfway or partway done. So I do expect to be running a company for several years into the future. Now, obviously, nobody is or should be CEO forever. So I don't expect to be. Like the sheer amount of work required to be CEO of Tesla is insane. I think I do probably more. Well, I definitely do more technical work than is typical for a CEO. So it would be nice to have a bit more free time on my hands, as opposed to just working day and night from when I wake up to when I go to sleep 7 days a week. It's pretty intense. But I think the mission isn't over yet, and we still got a long way to go before we can really make a dent in the world on accelerating the advent of sustainable energy. The goal of Tesla from the beginning has been to accelerate sustainable energy. But if you say what percentage of cars on the road are electric today, it's still very, very tiny, like on the order of 1%, or I think less than 1% of the total fleet worldwide. So that's still a hell of a long way to go for, call it on the order of 1% of the fleet is electric. There's also a tremendous way to go on solar power, although it's exciting to see the advent of very cost-competitive wind and solar and geothermal. And of course, we need a large volume of stationary battery packs. Basically, the three legs of a sustainable energy future are sustainable energy generation via solar, wind, geothermal, and hydro, and a few others. And I'm actually not against nuclear fission. I actually think nuclear fission is, with a well-designed reactor in a situation that is not subject to bad weather or seriously bad weather is actually, it is a good thing to do. So, but then the second thing you need stationary storage. You need batteries because most renewable energy is intermittent. The wind doesn't blow all the time. The sun doesn't shine all the time. So you need a lot of batteries, and they need to be very long lasting and high cycle life. And then you need electric transport. And if you have those three things, we've got a very bright future with respect to energy and the environment. So it's a long way to go on that, and so I'm still very much fired up to work on that.
Fantastic. And let's take the last question, please.
Thank you. Our last question will come from Gene Munster with Loop Ventures. Please go ahead.
I was happy to see the update on the timing of semi, and had a couple related questions. And first, since semi trucks typically travel predictable highway miles, will Tesla Semi be the first to achieve full autonomy?
I think that's quite likely, yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, I can't imagine. I'm not sure who would be number two, but yeah, it seems highly likely, yeah.
Okay, and then
hardware, it's the exact same part numbers on the Semi than it is on the Tesla cars. There's no difference.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, as it is, we need to modify the parameters, software parameters change for autopilot or full self-driving because it needs to know if it's in a Model 3, Model Y, Model X, or Model S. And so we just inform the vehicle, or inform the full self-driving brain that it is now in a semi-truck.
Would it need to be retrained then as part of that?
No. I think there will be. You'll have different control functions because there are turns that you could do in a regular car that you cannot do in a semi. Like you don't want to you don't want to try to parallel park this thing on the street in city. It needs to know its limitations. Being a giant truck.
Makes sense. My follow-up question was related to if you could just help explain why battery electric will win versus hydrogen cell fuel tech.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've had this question a million times for regular vehicles, even back in the early Roadster days, even before we had the Roadster out. People were saying, that somehow hydrogen is going to be a better means of energy storage in a car than batteries, and it's like this is just really not the case. Hydrogen is it's number one on the periodic table. It's got very low density. It's got low density as a liquid. It's like styrofoam level density as liquid, and then it's only a liquid very close to absolute zero. So you have to have it's really not realistic to keep it as liquid. You want to have it as a high pressure gas that has even lower density. So you need a gigantic fuel tank volumetrically, and it's got to be very high pressure. It's a big pain in the ass, basically. If somebody was going to say use an alternate chemical energy storage mechanism to hydrogen, I'd say they should use propane or something like that, or methane, or those would be way better than hydrogen. And then having it be a fuel cell just adds even further complications to the situation. It's just crazy, basically. We're extremely confident that we could do long-range trucking with batteries. the amount that works out. If you could just take, say, watt-hours per kilogram of currently available cells, and say, okay, what weight would you need to go, let's say, 500 miles, and to what degree does that affect your payload? And it's like, okay, you can do this. If you do it right, you basically have no effect on your payload, or almost nothing, and you can have a long-range truck. I mean, Jerome, do you want to add to that?
No, I agree with everything, and we see also an increase on the regionalization of trucks, and I think it will be perfect. The Tesla Semi will be perfect for it, yeah. And I'm looking forward to having some additional ones on the road very soon.
But basically, we do not see any issues with creating a compelling long-range truck with batteries. Apart from cell supply. Cell supply is the only thing. Cell supply is it. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. So thanks for all of your great questions. And we will speak to you again in about 3 months. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's conference call. Thank you for your participation. You may now disconnect.
Hey, that's old. What's up with that? Uh-oh.
Okay, well,
try the other camera.
Both are frozen.
That's odd.
If you can hear us, we will talk about this in just 1 second.
Why does it keep going back to that tequila picture? That was like an hour or something ago.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead.
Hello? Stream just cut out.
We're back.
Is it back?
Okay, sorry. Say sorry real quick. We're back.
But yeah, so hopefully you can hear us.
Okay, yeah.
It was interesting to hear they're still using the 18650 cells on the X.
Yeah, what's up with that?
But I guess that kind of explains why there wasn't a huge range increase. It was you know.
Can I have your earpiece?
The Model S went up like a few miles, but the X I think went down. We'll see, because they're still making changes to the website. Even as we're looking at it, we're seeing stuff change. But interesting, and he said they're still going to be keeping that 18650 cell-based pack for like years.
For several years.
For the non-Plaid version.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. The call, I was actually hoping for a little bit more. We did not hear anything about Roadster.
Nothing about the
Nothing.
Roadster.
And that kind of drives me nuts. I want to hear more about that.
Not a lot about the V11 or the full self-driving. He did mention there's like over 1,000 people on the beta for full self-driving.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's nice, but we're still waiting on it.
But now when you look at like this, it almost looks like this might be a V11 feature because it doesn't currently look like this. And the screen doesn't look like that. So maybe that's going to be new. Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. Said thoughts on those weird Yoke steering wheels. Looks awesome, but worried about awkwardness and safety. Also legality. So obviously they must have looked into the legality. I think where did I put the steering wheel? Oh, it's right out there on the table, right there. Sorry, I hit the steering wheel. Legality, they must have looked into that. As far as awkwardness and safety, I actually do have a Yoke steering wheel for Model 3 and Y. I'm gonna actually be selling this though. If anyone wants it,
we had this on
we'll
the
be selling it. But basically, like the only thing though is when you're turning, you need to remember that you can't grab this. So like when you're turning, there's nothing to grab here, and that can take a while to get used to. So my biggest worry actually with the Yoke steering wheel is it's going to take a while to get used to, and I want people to know that. Do not just pay a lot of attention. I don't know the best way to word this, but just like don't get too lax with that, because you're going to try to turn and you're going to try to grab it and you won't be able to.
And their Yoke steering wheel is even smaller. There's even less.
Exactly. It almost looks exactly like what we saw in the Cybertruck.
It reminds me of Knight Rider. Go look up Knight Rider Kit. I believe has
I'll look it up.
Very similar to that back in the day, back in the 80s.
I'll look it up.
But
Knight Rider?
Yeah, Knight Rider, K-N-I-G-H-T. There you go.
Okay, Daryl, real quick, thank you for the $2 super chat. Said, are they still using the Falcon Wing doors? Yes, we are not getting rid of that.
No huge body or exterior changes on the S or the X. I mean, they're changing the bumper a little bit. They got rid of the chrome delete. They did a chrome delete. There's no more chrome. Not a lot of huge changes, though. We don't know yet.
Is it like that?
Yeah, so they show that one. So this is the one I was talking about. So, okay, it's different than Knight Rider, but it's still a Yoke, I remember.
It's still a Yoke.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it feels very cockpit-like, and I mean, I kind of dig it. Because
Kit drove the car, so Michael Knight didn't do that, so maybe...
That's where I was going to go with this. I think FSD Beta is going to be rolling out hard.
Hopefully it will be, maybe it will be first on this new refreshed S and X.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. We can go ahead. We'll stay in chat if you guys want to go ahead and talk about this refresh. We'll go ahead and talk about it. We'll open it up, answer questions, anything you guys have. Real quick, somebody want to know if I'm an MD? I am not. I'm not. That is a lot of schooling that Eric didn't want to do.
Yeah. So basically, the S and X refresh were announced. Not a lot of exterior features, but they did make a lot of changes to the interior. They have like a Yoke steering wheel. They got rid of all the stocks, so it's all buttons controlled on the steering wheel. They do still have they have added a third screen. So basically, you still have the center screen, but it's a 17-inch horizontal screen. There's still going to be an instrument cluster behind the steering wheel, and there's now going to be a third screen. I think it's 8-inch screen for the second row passengers, so they can control. They can play games, or they can control the seat heaters and all that.
And real quick, Abstract Ocean said, if it's good enough for the Hop, it's good enough for us. And speaking of Abstract Ocean, link, it's down below, but Abstract Ocean is a sponsor of this channel. Make sure you check them out. 15% off your first purchase using code Tesla Inventory. Huge shout out to them. Throwing that in there.
Yeah,
we love them, and I can't wait to see what fun accessories they come up
they'll
with.
Have some new wraps and everything for the
because we got a lot to work on. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so also in the interior, they're gonna have like door pockets, which the S has never had before.
Never. And so that's gonna be exciting too. I know a lot of people complain about the door pockets, and now
they'll have them.
You get your door pockets.
And they're bringing in kind of a center console that's really similar to what the 3 and the Y have, with dual cordless phone charging. Same kind of drawers, but we still haven't found out where the cup holders are. It might be that you pull that drawer back and that's where the cup holders are.
I definitely think the cup holders are going to be in this center console door right here.
But in the rear, definitely some cool changes back here.
You get wireless charging for the rear.
Looks like it might be,
How exciting is that? That's what it said.
And it looks like they added, so it's a 40-20-40 split seat instead of a 40-60, so it should allow you to still have 4 passengers and have some longer cargo back there.
Here you have your touch buttons on the steering wheel here. That's going to be fun and interesting to get used to. I'm not going to lie. That might take a little time, to be honest. So, but overall, like, I'm very excited for the refresh. It's been a long time. I mean, long time coming.
And actually, we're pleased. We were complaining because one thing, I didn't really want to go down to one screen. I mean, I can drive a 3 and a Y just fine, but I like how the S has that extra screen, so you can just choose what's displayed up there. So it's nice to see they kept that extra screen, especially with other manufacturers. They're coming out with, like we saw, Mercedes has like a 56-inch screen that goes all the way across the dash. So I couldn't see Tesla going down to just one screen. But that center screen will be 17-inch now on the Model S and the X.
But I am disappointed in this update. This refresh does not bring us back a sunroof. And that is something we absolutely love. So, I mean, I'm a little disappointed, Tesla. I'm not going to lie. I'm very happy.
Eventually.
But I'm very disappointed at the same time. I really wish that would have been another option.
Yeah, maybe next year or so. We'll see. But
I mean, we will
the roof though, so that it's all one piece, kind of like in the.
And we will be getting a Roadster, which will have a drop top. So we'll be able to do that still, but I'm kind of bummed because I really love that feature about the current S. Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat. Said, notice the 22-inch wheels on the X no longer drop the range significantly since they refreshed configuration page. Why do you think that is? So the 20, let's pull it up here together.
One could be it's still a mistake on the website because we've caught a few other mistakes so far. But it could be maybe they're using lighter wheels. I don't know.
But also I think the biggest thing is the aerodynamics of the wheel. The current 22s are not aerodynamic at all. These definitely look a little bit more flatter and aerodynamic, so that might be why, to be 100% honest. Wouldn't surprise me, because that has always been a complaint of people, is they like the look of the 22s but not the hidden range. So I think they went back to the drawing board and really figured out how to remedy that. That's what I'm guessing from this.
Can you bring the stock ticker so we can see?
Oh yeah, let's look at the stock ticker real quick.
So, the stock dropped again. We saw this it seems to happen almost every time they have a quarterly call. It's if they don't hit a number or two, even though they can get really close to it, the stock can overreact.
And that's what happens on most of these calls, to be honest. We actually see dips, but then the next day or two, we see massive climbs. And I think with how good the earnings call was, we hit that 500, that we as in me, like I had something to do with it. Although we did take delivery of some cars.
A couple of Ys.
But like Tesla did hit that 500K number. Congratulations to any of you, those at Tesla. Huge props to you. They have a ton of money in the bank. They did really well from like looking at all this. They did really well overall. And we're launching the new S and X. I really think we're gonna see some big spikes in the next day or two. Maybe it's just me. Denver Sky said we wanted more ultra luxury, like the Mercedes and Bugatti.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to see Bugatti level because Bugatti level's like
10 times the, or 20 times the price.
3 million plus valuation. Mercedes level, I think we're starting to get close to that though, because the new seats look really nice. The interior looks really nice. You get the center screen for the back. I think we're getting a lot closer.
And they did bring back the cooled seats, it says.
Yep.
And
so I definitely think we're getting a lot closer to that Mercedes.
And who knows? This is what's coming out this quarter, next quarter.
True. Maybe we'll get on the sunroof next quarter after we take delivery.
That's what usually happens.
The sunroof was taken away because of efficiency and aerodynamics. I mean, you get a little bit less maybe,
also,
but
it's probably more like manufacturing. I think it's just they reduced the number of options because it used to be you could choose like the interior, like seat fabric. You can have different, decor.
Yeah, they definitely narrowed it down.
They keep narrowing things down to make it so that it's easier to order the car, but it they still haven't added more paint colors. It'd be nice if they add more options.
So RD said, how do you change your drive mode? Sorry if I missed it. To be honest, you didn't miss it because we don't even know. The stock is gone, and I don't see anything here.
If you go back to this steering wheel, like there, you can see.
I don't see
buttons, but,
anything that shows that.
Who knows? Maybe there's something behind the, like trigger buttons or something.
Maybe.
That. Or maybe you just say, change to drive.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
Kit. Go in reverse.
Oh, but we have a dog named Kit, so.
We do. But he's no relation
Not
to
here.
Kit from Knight Rider.
No, but that's actually kind of cool. But we don't know how it's going to work. That's a great question,
It's
though.
going to take some getting used to, just because the shape of the steering wheel, but also the lack of stalks. Because to put it into gear or to do the turn signals or the windshield wipers. Yeah.
So the turn signals are definitely on the wheels. The windshield wipers on the wheel. I saw those buttons, but we don't know where like park, neutral, drive, reverse are going to be. I don't see those on the wheel right now, so it's going to be kind of interesting. Let's see real quick. Liam with the $10 super chat, thank you so much, said, I wonder if the yoke will have a different turn ratio than the wheel. Seems on an aircraft, yokes are only used on planes that require less than one full turn to go into lock. And that's something they could easily change, couldn't they?
Yeah, yeah. Just the same way they have like
they could update
the
that
mode with like comfort or sport and all that. They could totally change it so how far it turns.
Exactly. And then Tyler with a $5 super chat, really appreciate that, said, does it look like the materials on the seats have changed on the refresh? Didn't notice any change besides the steering wheel console and screen.
It looks like they're perforated. If you look at the picture of the rear seats, you can't tell.
Let me pull it up.
But it does look like the picture of the rear seats. They've gone back to the perforated ones, and Tesla did offer those perforated seats back in 2018 or so.
Trying to find a picture real quick for you guys. Give me 1 second.
I know that go to the quarterly earnings call.
What was that?
I don't know. I heard the music. On the quarterly earnings call,
weird.
It showed the. That's weird.
Oh, dog's just gonna lay here. That's fine. You do you.
On the quarterly earnings pictures, that you can see the seats. Rear seats.
Oh yeah, here we go. So. You can see
if you zoom in, it's got like a
definitely perforated.
Yeah.
Much like the front, which isn't in here. So at least it matches the front. But I love this center console. It looks so good.
Armrest.
Yeah.
And that's cool that it has the Qi charging built right there for the rear passengers as well. And it does have the USB-C, but you won't need those really if your device has the Qi charging.
Yep. Sharp 2020, thank you for the $3 super chat. Said, hey Derek, I'm disappointed we didn't get an update on the rollout of Tesla insurance on other states.
Yeah.
I'm in New York and would love to have their insurance. Hope it comes soon. I agree with you. We're right there. We actually just renewed our insurance at all-time highs. It is not cheap for 4 Teslas, and I would have loved to hear about that as well, actually.
It was interesting because we our insurance used to be really cheap and we haven't had any claims or anything, but it's gone up over the last couple of years.
It has.
And when we inquired, they're like, "Oh, you guys still have the cheapest insurance of any company." So
I don't know. I believe that.
Other
but
companies must be even more, but I mean, we it's gone up. So it'd be nice.
I mean,
we'll
tell you. So we have 4 Teslas, an S75D, an S100D, a Model 3 Performance, and a Model Y Performance. And for a year, for 3 drivers in the household, so we have a household policy, is what, $4,800?
No, it was $5,500.
$5,500.
But last year it actually went down slightly.
Wow.
I think because the S's were older, it was like $6,600 last year. So while it went down, like 2 years ago, those S's were like $600 each per year, and now they're like $1,100.
So we want Tesla insurance, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Chris said, any chance of seeing the new steering wheel make it to the 3 and the Y? Probably not.
I don't know.
I would be surprised.
Not this year. But
they need to do things to keep S and X differentiated. So this is the issue I've had with a lot of this is if they don't keep them differentiated enough, why have an S and X when 3 and Y are going to outsell them? You need something that keeps them special. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and money.
Kind of like with that screen in the second row.
Yeah. Oh,
I can see that. I don't see that coming to the 3 or the Y.
No, definitely not.
Because that's an extra, that's a plus. And you can get some of the functionality if you use the app and if you're sitting in the rear seats, you can pull up the app and you can turn on your seat heaters, and you can't play the games or whatever. But I wonder about the functionality of being able to play games on that. So if it's fixed, it's not going to be very ergonomic. So it'd be interesting if it was actually a detachable like tablet device. But we'll see. That's probably a stretch. But
Denver Sky, thank you for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate that. It said wall vision and back, longer wheelbase, Luxe edition.
I know that would be popular in China and other places where they have long wheelbase cars.
And drivers. I mean, I could use a personal assistant and a driver full time.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have full self-driving though, so
Until then, looking for a driver.
Again, at $10,000, you might be able to get a driver cheaper than full self.
Well, I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
You don't need to pay him for 40 hours a week. Come on.
That's true. But yeah, let's see here. Andrew said we need a white plus carbon fiber interior.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we have in all. I think in.
Let me pull this
We have
up.
that in every car so far. We have. I don't know. Does Scott's have? He doesn't have carbon.
He does
fiber,
not have carbon
but
fiber.
We have carbon fiber in the Y and the S100D.
So on the S, if you want on S and X, if you want carbon fiber, you have to do a tri-motor design, either Plaid or Plaid Plus.
I don't think it's worth the $40,000.
I agree.
Price.
But you can do this white and carbon fiber, but you have to buy Plaid. Now, I'll tell you already, my mind's been turning. I already have carbon fiber that I will be able to show you guys how to install and change out yourself. It's already up here. I just need the car so I can show you.
Yeah.
So it is coming. There is a way to do it without getting Plaid.
Or there's also ways you can do it with a wrap, like with the cheaper. That's a cheaper option.
Exactly.
It's not going to be the real carbon fiber, but it's a way that you could have the look without the
cost
or the weight.
Let's see. Chris said maybe one of the rolling wheels would be pressed in and move it to drive, reverse park, exercise your thumbs.
Those wheels already,
maybe, yeah.
Those already are used for other functionality.
Well,
though.
maybe they'll change it out.
So that'd be too confusing.
I mean,
if you have a 3 and a Y, it's gonna work. The wheel works totally different than the S.
Look how weird this looks without a stalk, though, from the side view.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. This is gonna take some time. Real quick, Craig, thank you for the $5 super chat. Confetti for you.
What's interesting is that
no comment. So if you have something, drop down below.
What's interesting though is Elon said they're going to start delivering these new refreshed Model S next month. So
Yeah.
we're hoping that we're going to be getting one.
When is the first?
We have a reservation in. We don't know how many other people might be in line ahead of us though.
Now, the one thing we did do is we plunked down that $100 as a reservation in December 31st for the S.
Yeah.
And
Hoping
then
to lock in the price. Because
Exactly.
in the past, when they've made changes, if you already had an order in, then you were locked in on the price. And we checked out our documents; they haven't changed yet.
Nope.
They still show the old price. So hopefully they honor that. And
that would be nice because that would save us almost $20,000
between the S and the X. And they did say that the X will be delayed by a month, so that's coming more like March,
April.
timeframe.
Yeah. Let me look and see. Ram64 Man said, do you think they will add adjusting speed related steering to limit the turning?
That could
Yeah.
be something. So yeah, when you're
I think that's something they could make a toggle switch on the center screen. Mark Benton is here. Welcome. We talk on Twitter all the time. Said if the Yoke has different ratio, it would make a super twitch not good for a super fast car. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they can make it happen, but I definitely think it could work out pretty well though if they make it so like doing a full turn is only like, what is that, a quarter to a half.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how they do that, but yeah.
Or it might just have some, autopilot like assist or something, because it can see, oh, you're
Yeah.
trying to turn. I'll take over for you. So who knows?
I mean,
then again, not everybody buys full self-driving. I was really surprised to hear that only like 2% of Chinese buyers buy full self-driving.
I gotta turn. I'm peeking on my mic real quick. Sorry.
But
Okay. I don't normally use input 4. I'm normally on the big mic, but now I'm wireless. How cool is that?
See, that's what they said too. That the third row seats are coming back on the Model S. That's,
Exactly. It's not on the configuration page right now, so.
I think Elon mentioned that.
He did. He mentioned like fastest 7-seater.
Wow.
So I guess it's coming back.
And that was the S, not the X.
Yeah, but personally, I'm not a big fan of the 7-seater because we don't have we don't have kids or anything, and I don't ever have kids in my car. So having the third row on S doesn't really make sense for me.
Yeah, and they don't have additional air conditioning, at least they didn't in the past, so I doubt they've added it now, so it can get stuffy back there. I mean, I've seen people run, hoses, air hoses from the center.
For their kiddos?
Air to go back there, so I don't know if I would suggest those. I would probably go with a Y or an X if you really need those 7-seater.
Liam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Said the right scroll wheel is likely the gear change. It's a voice now, but there's a separate button for it now on the wheel. Good catch. Let's take a look.
Yeah, so that's what I'm used to driving the S, and so there I have my scroll wheels do something different than on the Y and the 3.
So I don't. That looks like headlights.
Right here.
Yep. Do that. So okay.
And then
no, do that again.
You recenter it.
Okay, stop for a sec. Okay, so here's the headlights. Here's the right turn signal, the left turn signal. here, I can't quite see these.
Yeah, one's a microphone. This one's a microphone on the right there.
Okay, so the microphone's here instead of the scroll wheel. So yeah. The scroll wheel. Good call.
Oh, you know what? The other one is probably the button for the instrument cluster.
Oh yes, exactly.
Because I doubt that's going to be a touch screen. Who knows? But what if the instrument was? So it might be a way to configure what apps are displayed up in the instrument cluster.
That would be nice.
We do have a dedicated button for that now in the S and X.
Yeah, that would be very nice. Let me start working through chat here a little bit. We'll answer everyone's question as much as we can. Speed limit reviews. Good night, guys. Thanks again for the live stream. Earning call. Appreciate it. Good night. Have a good one. By the way, thank you all so much for joining. Hopefully you found that informative and enjoyed it. If you haven't already, though, hit that like button. That really helps out the channel. And if you haven't, also subscribe. It really helps the channel, and we're going to be doing a lot of fun videos with our refresh S and X as soon as we take delivery. Can't wait.
But maybe we should keep one of the S's just to do a comparison.
Maybe.
At least for a little bit.
We're going to have to find a place to store all the cars.
Oh, that's true. Garage is full.
Yeah. Let's see. What are you guys going to be rolling over profits from GameStop call options to Tesla, which is nicely down?
We stayed out of the GameStop. We were watching it closely, but I can't believe it just kept going up.
I'm actually going to look at it
Every
real
time
quick.
I looked at it, I was like, oh no, it's going to drop, and then it kept going.
It never dropped.
It dropped the first day.
Well, yeah.
Then it's shot back up the next day. So it's like, well,
all I've learned from this, if you follow my Twitter, I talked about it a little bit, is do not piss off Reddit, because they are the ones responsible for this.
Yeah, but that's amazing how much GameStop and other Blockbuster.
Ooh, are you ready for it?
Go down.
GameStop is down $55 after hours, so we're sub 300 again.
That's almost as bad as Tesla.
I know. I mean, it's still crazy good for GameStop, but I mean GameStop is a company that has been going on the brink of bankruptcy, and all of a sudden became a $25 billion company.
Just playing the system. It's odd.
Real quick, let's get some confetti in the chat. We have Tyler with a $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. Said recommended getting FSD now for 10K since it may climb. Also, if I ordered an X now, do you think I'd be too behind in the queue to get it by April? That I don't really know how many are in the queue. I would go off of the configurator page, so when you go to order it, it should say on there.
It says April
we can double check real quick. As far as FSD, we've talked about it a lot. We were thinking about maybe even doing the subscription, but I'm still like 50-50 on it.
We'll see, because right now there's no option for the subscription when you do order it in the configurator. It's something you could always change before delivery, but it's still $10,000. But Elon did mention on the call that they're hoping in the next month or two to bring out the subscription. So if that's the case, then we'd probably drop it. I'd rather pay $200 a month, even though I hate monthly fees. I'd rather pay $200 a month than $10,000 at once, because people did ask, is there any possibility of transferring that license over from another car? And I said no, they're not researching or considering that at all right now. So
and I agree, from a business perspective, they shouldn't be letting people transfer FSD.
Yeah, but
as a customer, I want that.
They could give a discount or something.
Yeah.
Even if it's like 20% off or 50% off.
Yeah, so on here it still says Model X estimated delivery is April. So I think if you order one now, you should be okay. Don't quote me on that, but I would feel comfortable with that. Warren, thank you for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate you guys with super chats tonight. Killing it. Said maybe you answered this, but do you think you could watch Derek on YouTube in the backseat of the car while it's driving? I think so. We haven't answered that, but I think that's a great idea because it's a completely separate screen. Why couldn't you?
And it mentioned too, it had like a 10 gigaflop or whatever. Game.
Teraflop.
Teraflop. I don't know, something like that.
Gigaflop sounds fun though.
Okay. But anyways, that could be totally separate from the main screen then. So that would be cool. Because, I mean, cars have had like DVDs, older cars had DVD systems and other VCRs and stuff years ago. So why not have streaming video on that rear screen? That would be great.
I think it's highly probable. We've talked a lot about maybe that rear screen will be detachable too. I think that's also a great idea.
I think for ergonomics that would be a good feature. But one thing too, for those of you who have just joined, that center screen is 17 inches and it pivots. They said tilts, but they said tilts left or right. I would call that more of like a pivot or rotate or something. Yeah. But basically that would allow it more, so maybe you could turn it more for the passenger instead of the driver.
Now we are going with the Model 3 and Y door handle design.
Yeah,
so no longer is the door handle up here. it is now down here, much like 3 and Y. You have the one singular button right here. I don't know where. Actually, I do know where. So on S and on 3 and Y, it's on the screen. So that's how you get into the glove boxes through the screen.
Yeah.
So you're only having that one singular button, much like 3 and Y.
Yeah.
But on 3 and Y, it's above. Now it's down
Yeah,
here.
so it's interesting they put it up above. I don't know.
I would have liked it above.
Because it seems like you might accidentally.
I'm gonna
push
hit
it down.
this.
But I know they
I'm
might
gonna
have had
hit
a
it.
problem though too. Maybe shorter people wouldn't be able to hit the button up above.
Yeah.
But they
Free
do have,
confetti.
But they do have a camera up there now, up underneath the rearview mirror, or up by the rearview mirror, so that will be able to keep an eye. It remains to be seen whether or not it will track the driver and make sure they're paying attention, or if it's
That would
just,
be nice.
You know, an older camera like the 3 and Y have.
It would be nice if they could track the driver though, so you didn't necessarily have to
So you can see it up
press
there.
on. Yeah, you can see it. It's tiny, but it's up there. But it'd be nice if it tracked the driver, so you don't have to necessarily hold the wheel. I like that feature better.
Other cars do have that, and another thing too, the seat belts are now finally adjustable.
Yeah.
On the three or on
But
the
this
S.
is the X.
Okay. Oh, so I'm
so
sure
let's look
that
at the
they
S.
better be adjustable on the S because
Oh, boy.
they have not been adjustable on the S in the past. So we'll see.
Nope.
Oh wow.
Nope,
Major
still
omission.
not.
Oh, check that out. So show them. So
right here is not adjustable for
wow.
different heights.
I mean, it hasn't been a problem for us, but that's one of the things that just the 3 and the X and the Y have all had that, and they still haven't brought it to the S. So I mean, I think this shows though that they're just taking existing parts and they're they changed the center console, they changed the screen, they changed the steering wheel, but they didn't change that part yet. So maybe coming later.
It's a little odd.
Maybe later in 2021.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Pooh Bear said, I want plaid. How can I get the beautiful wood trim? If you find somebody who bought plaid, you might be able to swap it out.
Do
Or
all plaids come with the carbon fiber?
all plaids are automatic carbon fiber.
Send us an email.
Yeah,
Because
there
we
you
know
go.
somebody who's interested in carbon fiber that doesn't want the wood trim.
There you go. Rhonda said, what do I do for work?
Or if you live nearby or whatever, we could come
Yeah,
and
we'll
swap
do
it
it
out
for you. Rhonda, so I work in biotech full time, but I also have a couple side businesses.
And I work at a telecommunications company.
So there you go. Otis said, will my $45,000 Model 3 still charge faster than the $114,000 Model S? That's crazy. I think now we're going to see parallel charging speeds.
Well, the Raven S and X have had 250 charging for a while now, but that's only, they brought it as a software update. So, maybe, but also, it depends. It depends, on the temperature, how low the battery state of charge is. So, but theoretically, they should both be capable of that 250 kilowatts charging. I mean, we've seen close to 200 kilowatts on a 2017 S100D, so that's a great improvement because it used to be limited to 120.
Yeah. Real quick, thank you, Brad King, for the $5 super chat. Said, hey, David and Eric, what do you think they will do with the price change? Plaid is $5K less. I mean, if it's less, you'll probably get that. You'd get that back. Otherwise, people would just cancel. Now, if it's more, like hopefully we locked in at that cheaper rate, we stay at that cheaper rate. Sorry, my mic was getting hooked on
but
stuff.
we checked our documents and they haven't updated
Haven't
the price
changed yet.
Hopefully, they won't be calling us to say sorry that price is no longer good.
No. And Tyler with another $5 super chat, really appreciate that. Said, not sure if you know the answer, but theoretically, how hard would it be to replace the steering wheel with the normal round wheel if you end up hating it? This is where I think Tesla might be offering that as an accessory on the shop, where you can order S and X accessories. I have a feeling they might offer a round wheel because some people, and I completely agree with you, it's not for everybody.
We've seen several
it's
people
a very
already
bold
say
choice.
that, no, it's no go because it's a weird steering wheel. But I think you would probably want to go through Tesla just because since it has all the buttons there and there's no stocks, you're going to probably want to get it directly from them. And I'm sure that would be, hopefully they'll offer that as an option. Or an accessory that you can buy afterwards.
Sorry, I got a weird email.
But I'm guessing it wouldn't be cheap. It would probably be like, $800 or something like that.
Yeah. But definitely, I think it's something they would offer. Like Tom's Turbo Garage said, that steering wheel, bold choice. Exactly.
Yeah.
But Tesla likes to do things that get people talking. That steering wheel is going to be all over the news tomorrow. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Real quick, we have a $10 super chat. You want a confetti for us? We'll get some confetti. Said speculation on Model Y track mode released to compete with Ford Mustang Mach-E GT. Both are the same 3.5 to 60. Model Y performance. So either that or Model Y acceleration boost freebie maybe. Whoa! Oh my God, that all went behind it. That's gonna be a nightmare to clean.
Yeah, let's try and hit
Next
the
time
camera.
go up, I guess. I honestly don't think Model Y track mode's gonna come out, as much as that pains me to say, because I do have the Performance Y, but I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe because of what, the higher center of gravity or what?
Potentially, yeah, potentially. Now we've seen the Model Y on a track and it does amazing. So maybe they will come out with that to combat with the Mustang Mach-E GT, which we still haven't test driven because Ford doesn't like reaching back out to me.
Should try contact them again.
I know.
Just so we can do some comparisons.
Let's see. Somebody said the shifters alongside the bottom part of the steering wheel, maybe? Maybe.
I see a line there, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. The Yoke page says no shifting, so more info to come, be patient. Very odd. Maybe you're just going to be like, Tesla, drive.
That's what I said, yeah.
Tesla, park.
Kit.
That's going to be fun. Oh yeah, hi Kit. Very interesting for sure. Let's see. When is the Model S refresh from Jacob? It is now. It is in production and deliveries start in February.
Yeah, so what's February? That's next week, but I don't know if it'll be out that soon.
What if they call us next week and they're like, it's ready?
That'd be cool, but...
We do it.
Yeah.
We just do it. Don't think, just do it. Elon was saying he hopes people don't mind the price went up. Sounds like they won't honor. So I have a feeling they'll honor, but for people that wanted to buy, they won't retro do it. It's like, if you haven't already ordered, you pay the current price. If you did order, fingers crossed they grandfather
Like I said, I'm
us
sure
in.
we'll get more details on this probably tomorrow or Friday, because they're gonna, if the price is going up, they're going to have to be contacting people, and we'll probably be getting a call saying, hey.
Yeah.
Because as we mentioned, back when Autopilot 2 came out in 2016, they did raise the price on that, and they called everybody to say, hey, the price went up. Do you want to stick with basic Autopilot or enhanced? And,
Yeah.
But anyways, for those of you who did make a pre-order, if you don't like the changes, I think now you have a reason that you could get out of the deal and get your $100. Even though they said it was non-refundable, if they've totally changed the car from what you ordered, you should be able to get a refund on that.
Yeah. James, thank you for the $3 super chat. It said no Tesla T featured on interior.
That's interesting. Yeah, there's no logo on the steering wheel.
Really?
That's kind of weird too. How how they got rid of it on the screen in the most recent software updates? Why is it like not on the why?
It says Tesla.
Oh, it has the Tesla. Interesting.
But no longer is it that
the logo.
I can't believe I missed that. Holy crap!
I noticed that, yeah, but that's interesting. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. But good eye. I totally had missed that. Real quick, Tyler with a $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. Let me get some digital confetti here going.
Thanks, Tyler.
If you buy now, would you assume it'd be pretty future safe for the next few years? Don't want to buy it and then something way better comes out in a year. I guess that's the price of buying new tech. Exactly. So here's the issue with Tesla. And they don't release year models. They continually upgrade. They don't want to have to wait a full year to put something into production.
Yeah.
So we've run into that in a few spots. I took delivery of my first Model S, and a few months later they announced Autopilot or FSD.
Full
self-driving.
Autopilot 2 hardware.
And so I ended up selling that car, getting a new one. This happened with
the
several
Model X
cars.
as
The
well.
Model X.
Week after we got it, they came out with the Raven. And so it's like you got to be happy with whatever you order. It's like they are always upgrading. So what we're seeing this is available now. They're going to be adding something in third and fourth quarter of this year, I'm sure. And we don't know if it's going to be more exterior changes or something big. But I mean, I'd be happy with whatever you buy.
Fourth quarter is definitely going to be Plaid Plus.
Yeah.
And I assume Plaid Plus is going to be coming with like the wide body kit and stuff like that. I wish I had a clear answer for you, but unfortunately, the way I would go about buying a Tesla is if you are happy with what is being offered now, pull the trigger. If there's something that is a make or break deal, wait it out.
Yeah. And we do know that from people looking at the code, it looks like there is some new autopilot, other autopilot changes related with this, which we would expect to be in this car. But as they were talking in the call there earlier, they're still expecting Autopilot 4 is going to be coming out in the coming years. But they've done a lot with Autopilot 3. And you know, the full self-driving is doing a really good job. So I mean, if that's good enough for you, then be happy with it, and just know that, just like with computers and phones, they're always going to be changing something.
Yeah.
Another thing, though, is if you are concerned about that, maybe consider a lease instead of buying it outright. That way, you're only keeping it for the 3 years, and you can trade it back in.
Yep. Donnell, thank you for the $5 super chat. Said, should people upgrade from MCU1 to MCU2 or wait to hear about a response about the potential recall?
That's the thing. We didn't hear anything about that. We were
but
expecting.
Tesla's response is due today. So we should be hearing about that within the next couple days. I would wait. At least a few weeks.
Yeah, we definitely recommend the MCU2. I love it on the S100D, but we paid $2,500. We thought it was a good deal, but now they've lowered the price to $1,500.
If $1,500 is a great deal, but I would wait and see what happens.
To see, because basically right now that they're going to have to replace like 158,000
potentially
replace up to that many. That's what it's being
supposedly.
Suggested. But the problem is these chips haven't been manufactured in several years, and you can't just go to a company and say, hey, we have these old technology, can you build them for us? And so what they're having to do is take the chip from people who upgrade their cars from MCU1 to MCU2, then they take the old one and they refurbish it and they put it back in somebody else's car. So that's going to take a while, because that's why they've lowered the price to spur orders and get people to upgrade so they can get the supply of that. But I would wait and see, because people have been paying between $300 and $2,500. If they're doing a recall, I would wait and see, because you might be able to get that for free.
Yeah, or at least discounted. I don't think you're going to get an MCU2 for free.
I doubt you get MCU2 for free.
That I can guarantee you're not.
But they would fix the MMC daughter board for the MCU1.
Yeah. Barno, welcome, said Tesla will never bring back the sunroof because an all-glass roof with no brakes or loss of headroom is the ultimate perk.
That's true. There is more
I do
headroom.
love it, but I mean, I guess we can't be too bad on that, because we are getting a Roadster. And we'll be able to drop top on that if we want. So
so I'm not too bummed about it, but I mean, I've never had a sunroof before, but I liked it in this S.
We're gonna speed round some questions, though. We have a ton of people chatting away. Really appreciate everyone helping answer questions. Michael, welcome, Michael, to the chat, everybody. He's from Taiwan, and he has sent us an amazing gift last week, so we really appreciate that. I have it upstairs waiting to be washed so that I can actually use it. Elon said there's going to be a Model S call coming up. That should clear up some questions. Yes. So we will definitely be live streaming that as well. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button, click the bell so you know when that happens. I can't wait for that. Hopefully, though, that does clear up a lot, and I imagine they'll have more images and maybe some other videos to tag along with that, because everything that's in this refresh, it's a lot to take in with just the few pictures they gave us.
Yeah, and typically in the past, Tesla's always held events when they have a product unveiling like that, but because of COVID and lockdown and stuff like that, they're just doing it online. So it's unfortunate we won't be able to see it in person, but that'll be good, because we'll have video on that. They'll be on stage, maybe employees only, but maybe a few special guests. We'll see.
Yeah. WFS Media said no long-range rear-wheel drive Model Y news, unfortunately. Still crickets, unfortunately. Tommy said, where's the glove box button again? Can't find it. So it's actually going to be so on the Model 3 and the Y, it's on the bottom left-hand corner when you click on the settings button on the far left.
So no physical button.
So no physical button, but if you get in a car crash or anything, it automatically opens, which is kind of a cool perk. Real quick, Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. Confetti said, for your next McDonald's Instagram story. I just got roasted.
I remember
that's a roast. Thank you, Matt. I assume that was you. Thank you for the Instagram story McDonald's money. I will use that very wisely.
Yep. Hot and spicy McChicken, I'll tell you.
Oh, so good. And some fries. Wow. Cheat days. Bright Peens said, when will Model Y center console get refreshed? Still the old gloss blacky thing. So yes, it has not been refreshed online yet, but the parts catalog now lists it. It will be soon. It's got to be soon. Any day now.
Any week now. And Eric actually did that. We actually have the new center console in our Model Y. We did a video. He did a video on it over
Trying to pull up a photo for you guys.
And it works fine once you compare it with the car. So basically the key
If you want a new center console, have Tesla do it.
Install it, yeah.
Just don't
basically
do it
the key
yourself.
card reader is paired with your car, and if you try to swap in a new car,
show it later.
your car will no longer start. And
follow up on that hopefully on Friday.
Yeah, but basically, we have probably like the first Model Y in the U.S. with the new center console. It works fine. It has a nice dual charger, and the drawer is different than the old one.
Napoleon said, "Take a SHIT if Tesla
Shot.
tequila,
I think
please." I think he meant shot. I'm gonna hope you meant shot.
We already did earlier.
We already did.
Here's the evidence of the empty shot glass.
And I already had some White Claws, so.
We did consume a little bit of Tesla tequila. You can see that there's some missing.
We're slowly getting further down.
We're guessing probably about $48 to $50 worth of Tesla.
Probably $50 today.
Out of that bottle have been consumed.
No, just today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was a lot.
It's $15 a shot.
It was more. Those are bigger shots.
I know, they were bigger shots today.
So yeah, that could have been $50 just today.
Tyler, from your experience, is 360-mile range long enough? Pretty fair if you're not going on long road trips. To be honest, even if you are on long road trips, I have taken the Model S, I have taken the Model 3. We even did a road trip in a Model 3 standard range plus.
And the Y you've taken, we've driven all the cars, X,
and to be honest, after 300 miles, you need a break mentally, physically, go stretch your legs. I honestly think 300 to 400 is a very sweet spot for EVs. I don't really see the need necessarily to go too hot.
For the most part, I mean, there's still some parts of the country that don't have as many superchargers.
90% of it
Most
is
of the
probably
places
fine.
are really well covered, and they're really building out the supercharger network. But we've taken we took a standard range Model 3 from Kansas City to Denver, no problem, and that was with only like a 208 or 240 mile range. I don't remember. No problem. But we took the Model X that we had back in 2019. It had only like a 270 mile range, somewhere around there. Maybe
something like that. Maybe 290.
Maybe 290. And we were able to drive that down to Las Vegas and beyond, no problem. So you might just have to stop a little more often to charge. You might have to stay a little longer at the superchargers. But I would check out the routes and check out the supercharger map that Tesla has on tesla.com/find us, and you can see where they're located now.
Yep. Denver Sky, I have a really good question. Does the computer in the car have its own VPN to protect it? I imagine they have something when you connect to a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I would imagine
I
so.
know that. I'm pretty sure they do. It's the way it routes the traffic, through Tesla networks. Yeah.
Let's see. Tyler with another $10 super chat, absolutely killing it. Said, "Thanks for your help, guys. Girlfriend and I just now ordered a long-range refresh Model X with 6 10 FSD. Sucks the 6 seat, doesn't fold flat, but I think we'll just get a bike rack because 6 is cool." And to be honest,
so they do have that.
Do you really want a muddy bike in your car? No. So that's why I went with a bike rack for like the Y. I'll do it for the X. But congratulations on the order. If anyone is thinking about ordering and you need a referral code and our videos have helped you, feel free to use ours. It is listed down below. And I believe they're still doing the 1,000 miles of free supercharging.
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything against that, so they should be.
Still be there, yeah.
But congratulations, Tyler. Awesome. I'm super excited for you. It sounds like we're basically getting a similar car.
The nice thing too is it does have the X has the tow hitch on it.
Exactly.
And that's standard now. Remember when the X first came out?
You had to pay extra, yeah. Ghost Tesla said, "When can you take delivery?" Supposedly deliveries start next month. Online it says a March for S and April for X. So take that with what you will. Someone said Model S UK deliveries still says 2022.
Yeah, we saw another chatter was telling us
wild.
about 2022, and I think it's just because it's the right-hand drive, and there must not be.
So are they going to just focus on left-hand drive S and X for this year?
It sounds like it, unless
there's a part shortage for right-hand or something.
And they're not building the S and X in China, so that's the reason why they're So that's unfortunate.
Sean did the math for us here. 158,000 S and X from the recall potential, with $2,500 for the MCU2 upgrade seems unlikely. I do not see them giving MCU2 upgrade for free.
Yeah.
If anything, maybe they would do a slight discount. I just don't know yet.
Also, though, at that price, that's not the price that they really are paying for that.
True.
They probably pay, if they're selling it now for $1,500, they probably are only paying $750, if that. But still, they're not going to give away 158,000 of those.
And answer some questions in chat. Model X still has those falcon wing doors that we love. If they got rid of them, we would have not taken delivery.
Yeah, but it doesn't have any huge exterior changes. It's just kind of like bumper and the chrome delete and stuff like that.
We have a super chat. I'm waiting for it to show up here. It is not. Awesome. You guys broke my computer. Thank you. Craig with the $5 super chat said, how hard was it to get the new Y Center console? Was it from Tesla, Street Market, LOL? Want to swap one out too? I got it directly from Tesla. They are not heavily in stock though. There's the super chat.
And
so
they're not cheap either.
the center console alone was like $835 plus taxes, looking at about $900. To be honest though, I would just have Tesla install it. I would do a mobile visit on your app and just say you want a new Gen 2 center console installed. They might reject that though until they can get them in. I ordered this center console months ago and I just now got it.
I really think about it though, because for like almost $900,
is it really worth it?
It's not. To me, it's not really worth it for most people. It changes the door and it changes your cell phone chargers. To me, it's kind of, again, most people, it's not something they're trying to sell as an upgrade.
Yeah.
And so that it's not priced as an upgrade.
Yeah. Let's see. The delivery time in Dubai for Plaid Plus is late 2021 and October for the standard Plaid.
That's
well, then you
interesting.
might as well go with
So
the
they're
Plaid
bringing out
Plus.
yeah. If you got the money, why not?
I know. Matt said it was him, so thank you though again for the super chat, Matt, of $5. Maybe I'll see you at McDonald's again.
Yeah. Was it the one over there?
It was the one by the vet. Well, the snake vet.
Oh.
Where I used to get my haircut. I haven't gotten a haircut there in a year.
Oh, way over there. Then.
Yeah.
That's not the thing we're gonna get.
Yo. Why was I over there that day?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Let's see. Any news on when the Model 3 will get the single-piece rear casting? No, they didn't actually talk about that. They didn't even talk about the Y having the single piece.
I think they mentioned it.
Oh, did they mention it?
Yeah, they mentioned it there because they're.
But no word on the 3. But to be honest, the single-piece casting doesn't really make me feel like I want to get a new one. Or it doesn't really sway me anyway.
Yeah, nobody's gonna know. You're not gonna know. It's more like for manufacturing purposes, it makes it cheaper and I guess stronger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's not worth upgrading the car just for that.
Yeah, Jason said, is the new wireless charger faster than third-party chargers? We will certainly test that out for you, but unfortunately, not sure. Otis said, do you think the new S bumper will be able to be retrofit on a 2019 to 2021? Another great question.
Or even older.
Another great, yeah, exactly. Potentially.
It's not a huge difference though. I was just looking at it. It's like, I don't know.
The only issue is we don't know what's behind the bumper that might have been moved to allow the different fog lights and stuff. So that might be a little trickier, to be honest. Denver Sky, keeping up with the Johnsons has this new meeting with you two, first center console.
We also had the first Gemini wheels that we picked up in China and brought them back.
Flew all the way to China just for wheels. No, I'm just kidding. But it was a vacation. The wheels happened to be a perk and a very last-minute choice.
And then we had the first set of those, and then they mentioned it on like one of the Tesla calls or whatever that people were bringing them back, so they brought them out to the U.S. market.
So many people messaged me asking me if I could get them a set. I told Tesla, a few people that I know there, I was like, you need to just bring these over to the U.S. sooner than later because you're kind of shooting yourself. People will buy these. Just bring them
They
here.
might have had it planned anyways, but we had it by a couple months before anybody else.
Let's see. Scott said, do you lose money when you upgrade to a new Tesla? Wondering how you're able to afford so many Teslas. So, everything's in perspective, to be honest. Luckily, I have this amazing YouTube channel. You guys help out so much, so I'm able to do like certain business expenses and stuff like that. But we've only made money on like a few Teslas. But because there were such great rebates, we have been able to break even on many of them.
Well, not rebates, but the state of Colorado used to have a $6,000 tax credit, and there was also the $7,500 federal tax credit. So on those initial, the first 5-6 Teslas we bought, we were saving like $12,000-$13,000, and so that really made it a lot easier. Now the federal tax credit's gone, but there's a hint that it might be coming back this year, and there is still a state tax credit, but it's gone down. But it helps offset the cost.
Yeah, Pete, thank you for chiming in. He said the car does use its own VPN, so it is secured.
Yeah,
which makes sense. Kiss my AWS. I feel like I was supposed to say something really bad there. To make a round trip of 100 miles each, do you need more than 300 miles of range if you're going to do highway speeds 75 to 80 miles an hour? Depends on the temperature. There's so many factors that go into it, but much like a gasoline power car, you don't always get that true range when it's winter time. It's weird how it works.
Yeah. So it depends on the temperature, but also the elevation. So we live in Colorado, and when I drive like east towards Nebraska or Kansas, I can go like over 250 miles before I have to stop for the first supercharge.
Yeah.
So, but coming back, I have to charge one more extra time just because it uses more energy driving into the wind and uphill.
Yeah. Rich said, really like the new Model 3 console. Do you think that it's safe to order a Y now if I want it? I would wait until they announce it if that is a must-have for you on a Model Y. While you can do it after the fact, it is probably going to cost you about $1,000 all in, having Tesla install it and everything. I would just wait if that's a must-have for you.
Wait until they announce it, and even once they announce it, make sure that once they assign a VIN to you,
it's
that you
refreshed
check with your
console.
delivery specialist and make sure that you're getting one with the and then if it's not, they have an inventory one, tell them you're waiting for that, and they can assign you one that has the newer console once they start shipping it.
Goes Tesla, is there a refresh Model X? You bet, but there's not a Plaid Plus variant. If you want a Plaid Plus, you have to get a Model S. It is a lot more expensive, and it does have a faster 0 to 60 time and a longer range, but it's not ready till the end of the year. But they haven't done a Plaid Plus, at least not yet, of Model X. That being said, really the only exterior difference you're going to see for S and X is going to be a new front bumper and a new rear diffuser. And some very minor things, the chrome delete, the lack of the chrome strip under the doors.
Not a huge difference. I mean, if you look at the description for the Plaid Plus, it did have a few other things, but for the price difference, it's like over 40,
well, it's like 20,000 more than Plaid.
So it's like $60,000 more.
Or 30,000 more than LR.
You have to really want that, and it's just like you can't. While it does have a faster speed of 200 miles per hour, you're not going to be able to drive that anywhere.
So
really.
If you want Plaid Plus, you're going to be under 1.9 seconds 0 to 60. You're going to get 520 miles of range versus 390.
Yes.
That's your big thing
That's
there.
the nice thing is the
your
range.
top speed the same, and it's still tri-motor. So really, if you want a Plaid Plus, you better want it for that range, because that's really going to be the thing that makes it or breaks it. I can't imagine a lot of people buying it just for that 0 to 60 time.
Yeah. And while this Plaid is a lot more expensive than the non-Plaid version, these prices are still way less than what it was.
But it used to be.
Just like 4 years ago. Because like with the Model S that I'm driving now, it was like over $117,000. And it had a lot shorter range and only had dual motors. So it's amazing. Well, it's not cheap. They're bringing the price down.
Yeah. Yash said, just joined. Did your $100 gamble work? We don't know yet.
We hope.
Hopefully it did. We'll find out in the coming days whether or not Tesla calls us and says, hey, we saw you at a reservation. It's going to be this new price, or you can get your money back. At that time, we'll have to decide what we want to do. We're going to get it.
Yeah.
But I'd rather pay the price that we locked in with the $100 gamble.
They haven't updated the contract yet.
Yeah. Darren said, how do you think this will affect the used market? Great question. TBD.
It could go either way, because I know a lot of people might be like, oh, the price will go down on the used market because it's got older technology, but they've also just raised the price on the new car.
Yeah.
And so it might help hold up, at least on newer cars like Ravens, it might help maintain those prices.
Michael said S and X will be built in China. It's a logical thing to do. Stay tuned. I mean, exactly. I agree. It makes sense.
Family J was asking about this 300 miles good for 3,000-pound trailers. It depends, but you probably only get about half that range if you're pulling a heavy trailer like that.
Yeah.
Just because they're usually not very aerodynamic.
We don't have any experience pulling a trailer on a Tesla, but
yeah, I've read some other posts from other people who do have trailers, and they said, well, my average was like 300 watt-hours per mile, but then I put on a trailer and it went up to 600, and so that means he's only going to be able to go half as far.
Somebody said they saw that the configurator says it's 3 years of premium connectivity included.
Is for all of them or just the Plaid?
I don't know. Let's look and see if we can find the premium
There's a lot of
connectivity.
data on here that and it keeps changing too, because when I first looked at the site, it didn't have nearly as much information on here.
It says 1 year for me.
Yeah, we'll try the Plaid one now. Plaid Plus.
Let's try Plaid first, and then we'll jump to Plaid Plus.
Because that is the one thing, we're still locked in with our older 2017 Model S. It has lifetime connectivity. Yeah,
That's
it's still
1 year.
there as well.
And then Plaid Plus. Make sure I selected it. Feature details. 1 year. So I'm seeing all 1 year. Where are you seeing 3 years? Just curious. Chris said, will there be a lesser price subscription for enhanced autopilot? I mean, enhanced autopilot's basically gone, so now you get like the free autopilot that's included, or you can get FSD. Yeah. Whether or not there's something that bridges that gap when they come out with a subscription model, TBD.
It would be nice because there's some features that you'll never use, but that's why it's like they probably aren't going to lower the price because people will never pay for that.
Someone from Australia, CH13W, said place an order for an X before Christmas. Now it says 2022.
Yeah, that's really hard to believe. So all the right-hand drive markets, it's like people put in their orders like you said in December, and now they're gonna have to wait over a year. That's hopefully they can bring that up, ramp that up, and get it a little sooner. But yeah, that's
wild.
That's bad having to wait that long. Thinking it was gonna be 3 months, and now it's gonna be like
a year,
13
or 13. Yeah. Tim said, do you think the steering wheel will pass all 50 states DMV laws?
I don't think there's any laws against that I know of.
It must have, because otherwise Tesla wouldn't do that if you would fail a state. But I don't think any state has any issues with Yoke wheels as long as it has the airbag and stuff, right?
I would think so. Yeah, and there's definitely an airbag in the center there.
Yeah. Let's see.
Try the referral thing.
The referral program, is it still working? Let me try it real quick, because that's a good question. I'm actually opening it up now.
I bet you didn't use ours whenever when we made our 2 reservations.
What is it? Tesla.
TS.LA.
Here, you just type it in real quick. He's gonna type it in momentarily.
Well, it's not here, but... Oh, just click on it. And... Okay, and then see.
Dot. Does not appear to be working right now.
It's always slow like this.
Well, here, put mine in there.
I don't know what's...
Oh, here, hold on. Look on this screen.
Wait, this might be it.
Is it 1286?
Oh,
no, I'm 1286.
Okay.
It's 1286.
I was off by 1 digit.
So the referral program seems to be stalled out. We're going to let that load and see if it finally comes back up. But as of right now, I don't know. It's a good question.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, but it still shows Model S and the X, so we'll try clicking on it though.
So you can do solar roof, solar panel, Model S, Model X, 3 and Y.
So theoretically, it should still work.
Look at all these pounds of CO2 y'all have helped.
So try clicking on one of them and see if it actually popped up, because it should show a pop-up there, and if it doesn't, then go back and try the 3 and the Y.
It's going real slow.
Yeah.
Yes,
hey,
it does.
There you go. You have proof right there. They should honor that.
If you want to use a referral code, again, down below if you want. But it should do it. Let's see. Apparently, I'm the wrong line of work. 5 or 6 Teslas.
We only have 4 Teslas.
Only 4.
No, but we had other ones, but we always sell them, and then again, we don't lose much because we don't keep them that long. So like one with the SR Plus we had only for 3 weeks, and so we got almost the exact same price when we traded it in. It basically had less than 1,000 miles on it, so we got a really good trade in on that.
Denver's guy said, I will seriously get dressed up and arrive like a Bugatti to your next fan meetup. Okay. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where were we? Do you think the Y and the 3 will have a screen in the back? No.
Not anytime soon.
No.
I would give it years on that.
I wouldn't even give it years. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Yeah. And if it does happen, it's because S and X were discontinued.
I think that what they can do instead is they could maybe come out with a different version or a limited access version of the app. So if you do have a kid or a passenger in the back that you don't want to give them access to start the car or unlock the doors or anything, you could make it so they can turn on the seat heater. And, very limited. So I would see them doing that before they added a screen to those cars.
Yep. Denver Sky said, the fact that you're so sweet to your new fans just makes the world a difference to me too. Thank you for the kind words. This is an all-inclusive place. If you like Tesla, you're more than welcome here. If you don't like Tesla, sorry, but you're still more than welcome here. Exactly.
We'll set you straight. But we're here to answer any questions you have.
Yeah.
So, whether you have a Tesla or not, we want to inform you.
AJ said, will the screen in the back come off? We hope so.
That's what we're wondering, because it doesn't look very ergonomic where it's located. I mean, unless you're 3 years old and you're sitting on the floor, It doesn't look very.
Napoleon said, I think I found a little feature on the Model S back seats. It would have seat massagers and slight recliner. Hold up.
See, that's what it looks like. The seats look a little bit different. How they have that black around them. See, this is different than, or maybe that's just because of
right
the
here
backing for that fold downs seat. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Hopefully we'll find that. Hopefully they'll have that call soon, like Friday or something like that. So we'll learn more about it.
That'd be really nice.
Especially if they're starting deliveries in February. They got.
Somebody said check Reddit. Okay, we're gonna check that. I'm gonna look at that while David answers some questions. So here's where I was. So here, I'll give you the mouse, and you can just scroll down and kind of go down the list there. Well, I look on Reddit.
It says the Plaid Plus DC charging speeds will very different. Oh yeah, because so basically the Plaid Plus will have a bigger battery, so it should be able to handle a lot higher. We know that current superchargers max out at like 250 kilowatts, but who knows what V4 supercharging will bring? Might be able to charge even quicker. Okay. Look at the back. Okay, let's say look how the back is set up. It has a big console, plus it has screens too, so it's more likely they have slight recliner heated seats. Well, it definitely will have heated seats in the back. It would be nice if it had recliner, because the Model Y has reclining seats in the back. They don't recline a huge amount, but it's better than nothing, which is what the S currently does.
This Reddit post has 855 comments on it. Holy crap.
Already.
Wow. I'll have to scroll through that later.
Somebody's asking what happened to Auto. We still have Auto.
Yeah, we still have Auto. Auto will be making an appearance soon.
Oh yeah, we should bring
Don't
it
worry.
back. Yeah.
Let's see. Right-hand drive model delay is due to steering wheel laws in the UK.
But you think they could just swap out the steering wheel?
How hard is it to come up with just a quick steering wheel redesign, or even the same one with just a different airbag? That says Tesla instead of the logo.
But they could have the same steering wheel that just is completely round. So I don't know if it would be because of the steering wheel. To me, it would be. I mean, that's possible, but is that going to change in the next year? That's weird that they would be changing the law.
Yeah. Yash said, what do we do besides YouTube? I work in biotech, but I also have a couple businesses that own. And you?
I do like web application development.
And we play in the stock market. It's fun.
Except for like today when everything was down.
True. Real quick, let's do a Tesla check. Hold on one moment. Let me refresh this.
Yeah.
Tesla stock is still down 43.76 after hours.
So yeah, but I mean, we see this typically on quarterly calls. It goes down, but then within a day or two, it should go back up. So we're not too worried about it.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, or Pete's asking, which new Model S do we want? Well, probably we have reservations for both the long range and the Plaid. They didn't have the Plaid Plus when we made a reservation.
But now it's become the Plaid Plus.
But I think we probably would just get the long range because it's a lot cheaper and there's not a huge difference. I mean, we don't need the 200 miles per hour speed.
We don't need that because we're getting roadsters. So
that's exactly
we don't need to spend that extra money when we have roadsters that'll be kind of in their place. Ernest said, do you think they will honor the per offer vehicle? What happens to the performance orders? So performance orders are probably becoming Plaid orders.
But weren't performance a lot cheaper than Plaid though?
That's a good question.
So I think they're going to call you and they're going to be like, do you want to save some money and go down to this? Or do you want to spend a lot more and go up to Plaid?
Peter said, does a screen in the back work with Netflix and YouTube? Fingers crossed. I imagine it has to.
And what would be cool is if you could have two separate feeds.
Look at this distinguished gentleman. Look at the way he is sitting.
Yeah. But basically,
that's being a very good boy.
Because they mentioned that it had its own like computer, or it mentioned a computer associated with that rear screen. So hopefully that means two feeds, so that maybe if you're stuck at a supercharger, somebody up front could be watching something and somebody else could be playing a game or watching something else in the back. Or that we also believe it will work while you're driving.
Yeah, Napoleon's been doing some digging, said on the steering wheel they have windshield wipers, horn, high beams, blinkers so far. Still don't know where park, reverse, neutral, and drive are going to be. Are you sitting in all the confetti, buddy? I know.
Yeah, see, Don says one screen in the back with two kids is going to create some drama. Yes.
That's true. Yes. You might need to get another tablet. Hunter said, Eric, 12 Teslas, an American Eagle. Come on. Yo, okay. So I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. This shirt I bought probably 5 years ago. I still wear it.
We save money on clothing.
I don't buy brand name clothing normally.
American Eagle is brand name.
It's cheap. I probably got this shirt for like $10. I don't really wear anything. I don't wear expensive shirts and stuff like that because I just don't see the desire to pay $100 and $200 for a shirt. I have a lot of friends that do it, and props to them. But I buy like $5, $10 shirts. It's kind of my thing. But normally, I'm surprised you saw that because normally I don't wear branded content, especially when I'm on YouTube. So, good eye. Okay, Tesla will wear that. I'll spend $40 for a Tesla shirt, but not anybody else. I did. Let's see. Yeah, charging pads on the rear armrest.
That looks nice.
I'm loving that.
Yeah.
What's going on, buddy? He's so
see, that's
sad.
another thing too. Yeah, Michael brought up. We were talking about the larger battery, but the Plaid Plus will be the 4680 cells.
Exactly.
That's how they're able to have the larger battery
And that range.
So yeah.
Yep. Nick said, you think you will take the semi base and make it a motorhome? It's crossed my mind a lot. I want to take the semi truck and carry around like a 40 or so foot trailer and put like a mini home on top of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did not have a reservation in for the semi.
I think we could still get one pretty quick.
A lot cheaper though if we would have done it when it was first unveiled, and we didn't. But we don't have room for it. So I mean, it would fit in the driveway, but not in the garage.
Peter said, are we getting the new S or X? Both.
Yes. What? No.
That was actually
it still
perfect.
remains to be seen, but we have reservations for both, so we can decide.
Yeah.
Plus the Plaid one, but we've eliminated the Plaid. It's
Yeah.
nice, but we don't want to have to wait for it, and the range would be great. But as Eric said, we're going to get the Roadster instead.
Yeah. Ernest ordered a Model S. Congratulations. So many people ordering S and X, and I knew this refresh would spark so much more interest.
Yeah,
so good on you, Tesla.
Eric did a poll on Twitter a couple weeks back, and a lot of people were saying that they would order an S or X if it was refreshed, and we're seeing that.
Denver Sky says, me at a Tesla dealer. Oh, just round it up to 95.
We've actually asked when we picked up one of our Teslas. We asked about our punch card. We couldn't have to take a punch card last time, and
we've taken delivery of 12 Teslas. Isn't the 13th free? Isn't that how most places work?
But actually, with the tax credits, we've actually
almost
gotten one or two of them. The Model 3s.
Peter says, not a fan of the wheel at all. I think it's really cool, but not for me. I wish they offered it as an option. I think what they're going to do is offer a normal wheel as an option. And deliver them all with this. But I'm thinking like further ahead to like FSD. When the car's driving itself, I don't really care what the wheel looks like. And that's what I'm kind of hoping really is pushed for a lot more lately.
It'll be interesting too, because we were talking about having a regular wheel and how they might charge you like $800 for it. What if there's enough demand? Maybe they would just have an option where you can just swap it out.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We've already seen several people say they wouldn't buy it because of that. So maybe they'll have to have a regular wheel.
Yeah.
As well.
Or maybe they'll do a swap for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tommy said, where are the air vents for the rear? So if you look right under the screen, it looks like they're right here.
Kind of like...
They're going to be a little smaller, but there's definitely nothing in the door.
Yeah.
So it's just these little guys right under here.
Eric noticed something interesting on the wheel, or the air vents for the driver, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because the little diagram
Where was
shows
that?
like air coming from the instrument cluster. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that air's not going to be coming out of the instrument cluster.
Yeah, so let me find it real quick. So like right here, if I go here, it shows right here, air's coming over the wheel, but you can't.
weird.
So I don't, that doesn't make sense.
That's
unless
weird.
there's like air vents possibly on the bottom,
in
maybe?
That cap, if you go back like right there, but I don't know.
I don't
know. It's possible. But we'll see.
know.
We'll find out.
Rhonda said, where will you keep the Roadsters? Good question. Greg, if you're watching this, I'm going to need to buy some garage space from you.
Yeah, but also we won't be able to keep all the Roadsters just because the taxes are so expensive on those.
Yeah.
But right now we're upgrading. We're getting rid of at least 2 cars this year.
Yash said, is the garage being prepped for the Roadster? Maybe. The garage is undergoing a massive renovation right now. We haven't even been able to use half of it, and here in a few weeks we won't be able to use any of it.
I just parked in it today.
Okay, but no leaking photos.
I'm just checking to see. I wonder if Scott probably parked in it.
Yeah, he asked me, and I told him to park in it now. Yeah. But pretty soon, nothing will be able to be in the garage for a little while, so a lot of stuff going on with that. We got to make it look beautiful for that.
Yes.
Looks very empty.
Yeah.
Is the no.
Okay.
He likes to leak stuff, and We can't be leaking everything. The garage renovation is like very expensive, like $20,000 expensive. So anyone wants to sponsor? Anyone wants another sponsor? Hit us up. I wish the 3 and the Y could have the screen in the back because it is expensive. I mean, it looks good, but I don't see 3 and Y getting it anytime soon.
Yeah, just always bringing down costs on things.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Let's see. There's a pattern that showed park and neutral R down the middle of the steering wheel, like the bottom T section. Yeah, that was actually on... Where was that? Because I saw that. Was that just a rendering that somebody drew?
Probably the patent application or something.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's where it'll be.
But could that be a touch thing down at the bottom there?
It could be.
Or
So like,
pad. What if that's a touch pad?
So like right here.
What if that is a touch
What if you have to draw P or draw
or
D?
Or you just slide your finger like.
Oh, okay.
Like.
I'm okay with that.
Because maybe that's a touch pad. We don't know yet, but maybe you just slide across or use it as like a little mouse or something.
Please don't use it as a mouse.
I don't know. Touchpad.
Jason said, what's the point for expensive clothes? True. Although I have made some very stupid accessory decisions in the past. You saw one. It's right there. Open that drawer right there. It's in there somewhere. It was very stupid and it was a waste of money.
Yeah.
I don't buy expensive stuff like clothes or watches or anything like that anymore. I never really did. But I did buy a watch.
Like phones and cars instead. Yeah.
Yep. And snakes.
Okay.
Let's see. Trying to see what we haven't answered yet. Matt Burns said 7-inch screen in the rear. Yeah.
Didn't it say 8 inches?
Oh, did it?
I think it was 8 inches. I thought I saw that somewhere. But also cool thing, 22 speakers, so that's a huge upgrade, and it's going to have active noise cancellation, so that should really help lower the noise level in the cabin.
I'm very excited to try that.
We were talking about that thing that was like, we want that. I mean, we hit the dot.
On almost everything.
There were a couple things we didn't know, but we said screen for rear passengers. We talked about noise cancellation. We talked about the heat pump. We talked about maybe the 4680 cells. Turns out, no, they're still sticking with the 18650 cells, but they've totally redesigned the battery pack. So yeah, there's the screen. It
didn't say a size.
It said 10 teraflops. I thought somebody said someplace else it was 8 inches.
But 8-inch second row display. So right here, 17-inch center display, 12.3-inch driver display, and 8-inch second row.
But it says gaming computer with 10 teraflops. So I wonder.
It's got to be separate.
But what kind of apps? What kind of games is this going to be?
What if they're going to open it to Steam or whatever?
Yeah, Steam, something like that. That would be great.
I mean, this is basically a full-blown computer in the back of your car, just for gaming.
If it's separate, yeah.
Yes, interior and S and X do have that interior camera. Grant said we're hilarious. Thank you, Grant. Glad we could be funny for today. Andrew said, my dog sits here watching your dog getting pets. Oh,
but yeah, we've got 2 of them, but they're right outside the room waiting for us to feed them. So we'll probably be signing off in about 15 minutes for doggy dinner time.
Let's see. Jose said, just ordered mine, needed to ship to Puerto Rico. Congratulations on the order. Love to see it. Peter said, what's the oldest Tesla you still own?
Currently, we have a 2017 S100D, which it's 46 months old, I think. So I don't know if we're going to be able to. Wow, it's still under warranty and everything. I don't know if we'll still have that though with the new S.
Will it go or will it stay?
I mean, I wouldn't mind keeping it for like a long-term, test vehicle or whatever, and to comparison too. But we also have a 2017 S75D, which is from December. So but that I think we would get rid of before the other one.
It really depends what Scott wants to do.
Yeah,
because
we're going to have a household meeting and discuss which cars are going, which one make the cut.
AJ said, trying to convince my dad to get a Y or a refresh S or X. What do you recommend? Really, whatever works best for you and your family, to be honest. The nice thing with the S and X is you get the air suspension. Y doesn't offer that. You get more room. You can get more range. There's a lot of more creature comforts in S and X that you won't see in the Y.
Each vehicle that Tesla offers has its own benefits. The 3 is going to be the cheapest and the smallest. The Y is a step up with more room, more cargo space, slightly more expensive. The S, I think, is better with the range, especially on road trips. And X is if you need to have a lot more room for passengers, or a lot more towing room. So I would, check with your parents and see, do they need to tow any, or do they, how many people are they going to want to carry in it, and that would help them decide it between an S or an X or a Y.
Jose said, any update on Falcon Wings? They are still there. Blackhouse Bruce said, I agree, FSD should stay with the car, not the driver. It just sucks. Open market doesn't value it the same. Yeah. But every car I've sold that has FSD, I made sure I recouped as much of that as possible. I think ultimately it is up to the seller to really convey the extra price to the buyer.
Yeah, definitely.
Logan is here in chat. Welcome, Logan. Said, what is the drag coefficient on the old versus new S? I feel like they greatly improved it.
I don't know. I would think it's the same because I didn't see a huge difference.
But a front bumper can do huge numbers.
Yeah, and they did change like the lower lip or whatever of the bumper. Yeah.
So
I'm sure we'll find out.
That's a good question.
We'll find out on the call when they do the official unveiling.
I would imagine they improved it. They couldn't have made it worse, I guess. Let's see, Chris said, let's be honest about the steering wheel. It's cool, but Audi tried a flat bottom 1 year ago and US DOT wouldn't approve it. Tesla had to have gotten this approved. Yeah. I can't imagine. Oh, could they?
We should go look that up though. I didn't know that Audi had one, but I don't know why there would be a problem with it being flat on the bottom. I think the problem would be more on the top, missing that part of it.
Jason said in the main screen, did you see it shows air quality?
Oh, I know that in China, I think I've seen that.
Hold up.
I thought I saw that in China already has that on the Model 3 there. Yeah, but
where?
I don't see it, but I know that I've seen that. It might be up there.
Up top, maybe.
But I think they already have that in China. So it's it's just a software feature. So it'd be nice. Oh, look at that one over. Go back to that picture.
This one?
Yeah, nice overhead view. But yeah, it wouldn't be hard. I guess they would have to have a sensor of some sort in order to have that displayed.
Yeah.
But
let's see. In another pic, that's the USB-C ports. Yep.
yeah,
so they confirmed
all
that.
USB-C ports now.
There are regulations regarding steering wheel shape, and the yoke is definitely not street legal everywhere.
We'll have to look.
We'll research that because I can't imagine Tesla would do this without approval. Because if they're delivering in February, they already have a ton of those in stock.
Yeah, or they've ordered thousands of them, and they're not going to order thousands of them if they can't sell them.
Yeah.
So yeah. Interesting. We'll have to look and see.
Yikes. Okay, I did more research and investigating. So the Model S will most likely have ventilated seats in the front and color-changing ambient lights in those chrome lines in the interior. Oh God, I hope you're right, Napoleon, because that would be so nice. So I assume the ventilated seats, we've already got confirmation.
Yeah.
But if we could get color-changing ambient lighting, that would be so nice.
Because I think the Lucid Air, when we saw that, it had some nice.
Where would it say that?
Oh, at Alexei, they're offered to store a Roadster in his garage for us.
Well, thank you for the offer.
So we'll keep that in mind. Definitely hit us up.
Yeah. Denver's guys, you need to put up a Canada High Tunnel garage. We're gonna get big snow here. Yeah.
Really? I know that I heard out in Lake Tahoe they're supposed to get 100 inches in a week.
No, thank you.
So that's a lot of snow.
No.
We haven't really had much snow. Our biggest snowstorm so far in Colorado was back in September, the day after Labor Day, when it was 80 degrees one day, and then we had a big snowstorm the next day. And we've had a few inches since then, but nothing major.
Yash said, hold up, how many Roadsters are you getting? Well, because y'all killed it and gave us a ton of referrals, we really appreciate anyone who's used our referral code.
That was back in 2017.
We pretty much earned 4 free Roadsters. So
almost 4.
We really appreciate everything you guys have done. That being said, we're not keeping 4, but we're gonna at least keep 1 or 2. Depends what happens with the Roadster.
And again, the taxes are quite expensive on those.
Yeah.
So.
Chris is doing a poll. Let David leak info, yes or no. I vote no.
It wasn't that exciting. It was a picture of the garage.
You pull it up. Let me look at it.
It's just too.
I need to make sure there's nothing identifying.
There's nothing there. It's just a garage with 2 cars in it.
Can you okay? Okay, show that real quick.
It's not that exciting, but basically you can see that's half of the garage.
Okay.
Right now with 2 Model S's in it. So the other garage part is to the right.
Yeah.
They can't tell what's.
There's stuff you can't really see.
We know what's changed, but they can't.
Let's see. Alan said, I want to see a garage bay with a car lift for the Roadsters.
That would be nice. I know that our neighbor next door actually had a car lift.
I can't say too much.
That they could store 2 cars in there.
Peter said you guys are awesome. Huge Tesla fans, but critical when necessary, not fanboys. Thanks for always keeping content honest. It's hard to find in the Tesla world. Really appreciate it. I mean, we try. Sometimes people say we give Tesla too much credit, but at the same point, I'm not afraid to call them out for things like a sunroof.
I think, yeah, we try to be critical, but I think we are more on the fanboy side. But we're not 100% fanboys, so we do tell you when we have problems and stuff.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't have a lot of problems.
I mean, Tesla doesn't pay me, so I don't really care what I say.
But as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, we did a video of the 12 Teslas we've owned over the last 5 years. We've spent a whopping like $310 on service. Everything else has been covered under warranty, and the $310 was because of a rodent chewing into the wiring harness. And it was on a car that was out of warranty. So we really have no complaints on having to pay to keep our Teslas maintained.
Yeah. Rhonda said, what specs are your PCs? So actually, I have two PCs here. We stream on one, and then this view is actually like my gaming PC. That's on another. We got like 2080s. I'm still waiting on 390s, and we got like 128 gigs of RAM. But I edit on this one, so this one's a beast. Let's see. Napoleon said also the Model S would actually be 78K according to the Tesla website. 78.
Yeah, you gotta make sure to undo the settings and all that stuff. But yeah, I think.
Let me go back to the long range. Yeah. So
when you add everything or whatever.
That's without with FSD it comes up as 80K. Without or no, sorry.
Yeah.
With FSD it's 89,990. Yeah. Without FSD it's 79,990.
That's why it'd be nice if they did come up with a subscription, because I think this time we would finally get the subscription instead of paying the $10,000 up front.
Yeah. Let's see. You guys think the S and X will come with new UI for the screen, maybe V11? So based on what I see here, that is something, this is a view that we don't have right now. You can't look like this, can you? Because these are like all the games.
Yeah.
Wait, is The Witcher a game?
Yeah, those are all games. Somebody else was talking about.
Is The Witcher... Witcher isn't available to play right now, though, is it?
No, but maybe that's a hint that it's coming.
Yeah. Okay, I thought that was actually YouTube. My bad. So, I definitely think there's going to be maybe V11 introduced.
I think that we might be seeing it very soon, just because maybe they're waiting until these cars were available. But they should. This week, I was thinking they would start having a release. So if I'm not seeing it this week, hopefully next week.
Sean said, was the heat pump in S and X confirmed? Yes, it was.
Yeah. And we predicted that several months ago, but they finally confirmed it.
Sam Bong said, waiting for Tesla to start selling the bike and the picture of the Model 3. That's what I told him. I was like, that is an Easter egg of some sort, because they don't, I think that's something they could sell.
It didn't look like an e-bike, but we have an e-bike.
I mean, they don't necessarily need to sell an e-bike, do they? What if they just sell a regular bike?
That's true. Yeah, but I mean, we have an...
Where's the picture of it?
I don't know, it was back when it was in the trunk.
I need to, sorry.
But yeah,
I'm trying to go to the page.
I didn't see any branding on it.
There's no branding.
I'm sure, though, that if they sold it, people would buy it. Yeah, there you go.
But if they sell the bike, I want to buy the helmet, too.
Yeah.
But I could, if they buy that bike, or if they sell that bike, I will totally buy that bike. Yes. No picture of the 6-seater. Exactly what we were talking about, Pete. We don't know if that second row will finally fold flat or not.
Somebody was, but maybe they were asking about it, but they wanted to know. But yeah, it would be nice if it did, because there's other cars have had folding, like captain's like seats for years, so there's no reason why Tesla can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
They might have to get rid of the monopod posts or whatever, but I'd much rather have folding seats than the monopost seats.
Yeah. Gary said, where did David score that nice Tesla dry fit? Why don't you model it for the people?
Around. I mean, they don't have this anymore?
No, they stopped carrying that like a year ago.
Oh, yeah, I like it because, yeah, it's like wicking your own.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was so unique.
It's a collector's item now.
I like the one that you have that's got like the Model S, like, front end.
Oh, the front end, yeah. But it's cotton.
Yeah, I like this just because I don't really like cotton shirts, and so I definitely picked this one up when it was available.
And does the Model X have a hitch for a bike rack? I believe it still does.
It should, and
there's no word on yes or no, so I believe it should.
If they took it away, I think they would mention it. But basically, it's been standard on the X for a while, so I believe it would still be there.
Alexi said, any news on Cybertruck? No.
They talked a little bit about it.
But not a lot. They said maybe very limited deliveries, like I'm thinking like a handful in 2021, but most in the ramp will be in early 2022.
Yeah. They did also mention that they're expecting production of the Semi in 2021 as well.
Yeah. Oh, so Tommy clarified a little bit. He said, oh yeah, right here. These are USB-Cs under the screen. You can barely see them, not the air vents. So where are the air vents for the second row?
Well, currently they're just right there below it.
No, they're right here, where the screen is.
Where the screen is. Well, I would expect them to be right below that.
But that's USB-C.
Well, right below that.
Jesus. They're gonna cut it close.
I don't know.
I guess we have to wait and see.
They have to be there somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good question though. Blue Sensation said, will it have the new glass? No.
Well, no,
but it's not going to have like the bulletproof glass Cybertruck's going to have.
But it would have like the laminated glass on the side, at least the driver's side and the passenger side.
Yeah. Are we brothers? No. I do not have a brother, but I do have a sister. Couldn't this steering yoke hit you in the leg or hand as the car is turning the wheel? Seems like round would be safer. Good point.
I don't know, remains to be seen. Yeah, we haven't. I don't know. It depends on how high up, I guess, you put it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was no mention of the supercharging. But we did see that the referral code does still work, so you could at least get 1,000 miles of free supercharging. And you never know. Maybe at the end of third quarter or fourth quarter, they might offer a year or two. But right now, they didn't offer any unlimited. It would be nice if it came with free supercharging for life. That would be one thing. Both of our 2017 Model S's have unlimited supercharging for life, so it'd be something we'd be losing if we upgrade.
So Jason said, did Tesla get rid of the partial premium interior on the SR Plus? Oh, they did this on all of them. That's kind of nice.
Standard. So wait, now the SR Plus is now 263 miles. Wow, I remember when it was 240.
Interesting. It appears they might have got. I don't see any.
Down.
You can, but then this is FSD and stuff.
So it's not there. Maybe
I actually don't see anything about the partial premium. That's a good eye. I guess you'll have to let us know when you take delivery what it includes. Delivery February 14th to March 14th. So yeah, just keep us updated. That'd be great to see. Let's see. Denver Sky said, regarding question of being fanboys, you seem to be too competent engineers on your own vehicles. We try. But let's be honest. I've made boo-boos on several cars.
Yeah, there's been other times that he's made other mistakes that nobody ever found out about, and we haven't ever admitted to those yet.
Whoops.
Which car was that?
That's yours.
Oh, okay.
I bricked his car.
It works fine.
Way back in the day. I tapped into the wrong thing, and then I threw a bunch of error codes, and I needed to get help, so I hired Tesla to come fix it. Let's see. Robert said, unlimited money, which should I buy?
Again, it depends on what your needs are. I mean, I would probably still say the Model S.
I love the S.
I just love the range. But, you know, the X has more room. The Y is a good compromise of the two. You know, or if you live in a place maybe with smaller streets or don't have a big garage, then the Model 3. So it just depends.
Wireless mic should be on, John. Hopefully.
It might be done.
It shows it's still working.
Yeah.
So just let us know. Sean said website says 5,000 pound towing capacity for X, so hitch still applied. Perfect.
So that's the same, yeah.
Yep.
Nothing changed there.
Rick said trade-in offer from Tesla on my 2019 Raven X. The offer was $32K less than I paid 18 months ago.
Yeah, it's a pretty big
I hate to say, but sounds about right.
Might not be. I mean, you really have to think about it if it was worth it to
if
upgrade.
you want, the private market is a much better place to get a lot more money.
Yeah, it might still be 20,000 less, but you could probably get a few thousand more.
A little this and that said, so now the S is more aero than lucid. Maybe that would be funny.
Invisible cabin conditioning.
There you go. Airwave invisible cabin conditioning with tri-zone temperature controls. Magic, I guess. Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna. They have to have air vents somewhere.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see. So it's been a long day, guys. Wow.
Yeah, I think, and it's like 3 or 7.
We've been live for 3.5 hours. Is that our longest live stream ever?
Maybe, but I think we're gonna have to take a break and get some food and call it a day.
Okay, yeah. We'll probably go ahead and call it here. It has been a fantastic day. I really appreciate all you guys with the super chats. You killed it today. Much appreciated, not required though. But really appreciate all that. Definitely check out our channel sponsor though. If you are getting an SX, 3 or Y, they have all kinds of fun accessories to really make your Tesla your own. Abstract Ocean, and using code Tesla Inventory gets you 15% off of your first purchase. We absolutely love them. They have really helped make all this possible for you guys. So I can't help thank them enough. And thank you guys for even just watching. No reason to necessarily super chat, but just like being a viewer definitely helps the channel, and really appreciate all you guys. Hopefully you are impressed and as excited for the refresh SNX as we are. I'm very excited. I can't wait to take delivery. I hope they call tomorrow and say we can get it in February.
Yeah, and if
I'd be elated.
And if you're considering getting the S3, X, or Y, definitely feel free to use our referral codes.
We're dropping mics over here.
Microphone dropped, but luckily I had it on the key.
That is a $1,000 microphone. So yes.
But anyways, definitely feel free, and hopefully, we've answered your questions. Hopefully, if we missed them this time, we will be on the Model S call, which will hopefully be in a few short days, and we will do another live stream then, and we can answer your questions then.
Yep. But I guess we'll go ahead and end it here. Thank you for making it an amazing 3 hours and 40 minutes. It feels like we just started. I don't know where the time went, but I got some floors to vacuum. There's a lot of confetti here. So we will see you all next time, hopefully a little later in the week with a Model S call. Bye.